Just an overcast day from Chatham, Massachusetts, and it is the setting this evening for baseball here in the Cape Cod Baseball League as the Harwich Mariners travel to their Eastern Division foes in the Chatham Anglers. And it's a beautiful day for baseball. It was a little cloudy early, but the sun is starting to come out now as the Anglers and the Mariners are fighting off for the number 2 and the number 3 spots in the Eastern Division. And Chatham coming off 2 losses. We'll talk about the Harwich Mariners first. Harwich having just been defeated by the Owens Fibers by a score of 8-5 in last night's ball game. The offense was there at times. I'd say the top of the order was definitely there, but the bottom of the order just struggled a little bit in that loss.
They did. It was a really strong showing from the top of the order. Morris reached 3 times. Shunk reached 4 times. Lipsius reached 3 times. And then at the bottom of the order, it was really no one was able to get on base. Ben Norman had a single, and Brad Debo had a good game. He reached base 3 times, a single, a double, and a walk. But there were no hits anywhere else in the bottom of the order. Casales had the golden sombrero last night. Driscoll did not get a hit. Rivera also did not get a hit. So we'll have to see if the bottom of the order can come up today and get some big hits when they need them, because they're going to need some extra support from the bottom of the order, because the top of the order can't be holding up the rest of the lineup for the entire season.
And this is definitely a game that Harwich definitely wants. They're 0-4 against the Anglers coming in, and some lopsided losses. Well, in the first game they lost 5-1. Second game back on July 3rd, 13-6. July 7th was the third matchup, 9-6. And then 8-3 loss in Harwich. And so this is their 5th time playing. So 0-4 coming in. The highest runs they scored in the 2 games was 6. And I think a key tonight is keep those bats going against this Anglers pitching, but also the pitching needs to be outstanding tonight. And on the mound for Harwich is Austin Wood, and on the mound for the Chatham Anglers is Jeff Belch.
So let's start with Austin Wood. Austin Wood has had very much of an up-and-down season. And sometimes, even within starts, he's been very up and down. There'll be times when he's outstanding. His last time out versus Wareham, there was a time when he struck out 7 consecutive batters. And then, he also had innings where he'd allowed 3-4 runs. His final line was not good. It was 3 1/3 innings, 5 earned runs, 4 hits, 4 walks. And then he added the 8 strikeouts. The 8 strikeouts are impressive. He can strike guys out. He's got good stuff. But there's been a problem with control. There's been a problem with allowing too many guys to get solid contact. So we'll have to see, can Austin Wood have his stuff taken? Can he control his pitches? If he can, he could have a really strong start tonight.
Yeah, in his last 9 innings, he has walked 9 hitters, including 4 in that start against Wareham. He did have the 8 punch out, as you mentioned before. That was 7 in a row that he had. So Wood's going to need to have a strong performance showing here, and I think they'll maybe more of a bullpenning game for Harwich. We've seen that before. Wood would come in for a couple innings, 2-3 innings, and then the Mariners just go right down the line, down that bullpen area. So again, this is a big win that the Mariners can pull off here, as it's a very tight race in the Eastern Division. Only 4 points separate the Anglers and the Mariners, including last 2 games. There have been fogouts here at home. This is a 3-game homestand for the Anglers. The last of 3. There are 2 fogouts in which the Anglers allowed 24 runs in 10 innings. So that's definitely not what you want to see if you're Tom Holliday and that Anglers coaching staff. And if you're Coach Young, or you might be licking your chops, a pitching staff that has struggled the last 2 games here at Chatham, and the fog has been a little bit of effect too. So the Mariners are going to pull off a big one here, move closer to that home field advantage in the Eastern Division for that 2nd seed.
It is. It's an opportunity for the Harwich Mariners. They're going to have to get by Jeff Belch, who is the starting pitcher for the Chatham Anglers. He pitched versus Harwich back on July 3rd, went 5 innings, allowed 2 earned runs, 4 hits, a couple of walks as well. He actually pitched the latter part of that ball game, so we'll have to see how he's able to do against these Harwich Mariners bats. He's 1-2 on the year, a 4.03 ERA. 37 strikeouts in 29 innings is pretty strong. As we step aside for the national anthem, we'll be back for the first pitch.
Tonight's national anthem is sung by Carrie Tully, a rising high school senior from Winchester, Massachusetts. Carrie has performed on numerous stages, including the Greater Boston Stage Company and the local Cape Cod Theater Company. With tonight's national anthem, Carrie Tully.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last
Tully, an outstanding rendition of our...
And back inside Veterans Field as Chatham will take the field after the national anthem. Beautifully sung here at Veterans Field as we talk about Chatham's defense. We'll go around the diamond for the Anglers.
And out in left field is Simpson, in center field Reeve. Out in right field is Torkelson. And third base Ramirez, shortstop Jones, second base Bush, first base Siebel. Behind the plate is McCann.
And on the mound we mentioned before is Jeff Belge, and he'll have to go through this Mariners lineup. Leading things off is the shortstop out of Virginia, Tanner Morris. Batting second is the third baseman, Aaron Shunk. In the three-hole is the first baseman out of Tennessee, Andre Lipsius. And the cleanup spot is Ned Eichhoff playing center field this evening. Batting fifth, doing the catching for Austin Wood is Logan Driscoll. Batting sixth, left fielder in this evening's ballgame, Ben Norman. Batting eighth is the designator, Danny Casals. Or should be batting seventh, Danny Casals. Batting eighth is Gabe Rivera, the right fielder. And rounding out the bottom is the second baseman out of Clemson in Jordan Green. So the Mariners look to try to get the bats going here. And this is a Chatham pitching that has struggled at times. And they've shined. They've yielded the least amount of hits in the league. Least amount of average. But they've allowed the most home runs. So that's something to watch out here, especially with the wind that was earlier that was blowing out towards straightaway center field. We mentioned it before, only 314 down the right field line, 385 in center field. Now the Harwich Mariners are last in the league in home runs, but a day like this could help both sides as well, especially Chatham with their big power hitters and Spencer Torkelson.
Yeah, Torkelson is one of the most dangerous players on Cape Cod, one of the most dangerous players in college baseball for that matter. And since returning from Team USA, he has done an outstanding job. He's 10 for 23 with a home run and 8 RBIs.
So now starting things off from the left side is Tanner Morris as he will dig into the back side of that batter's box. Left-hander Bellinger of St. John's on the mound, facing the shortstop out of Virginia. First pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. 1 hammer underway from Veterans Field. Sun really starting to come out now as the temperature is in the 70s as the 0-1 pitch is popped up out towards shortstop area. Greg Jones will make the catch. And just like that, 1 up, 1 down to start things off here at the top of the first inning, scoreless ball game.
Yeah, last time for the Harwich Mariners, they got things started pretty quickly with 3 consecutive walks that they worked off of Stout. Tonight, not quite as quickly as they start off with a pop out over to shortstop from Tanner Morris.
The temperature is 68 degrees. It's dipped a bit over here since we arrived here a couple hours ago as first pitch to Aaron Shunk is cut on and missed. On his 21st birthday, yesterday's loss, however, he collected went 3 for 4 in last night's ball game, including an RBI and a run. He's been red hot at the plate since that All-Star game. On Sunday, we had a double. A 1 pitch cut on and missed by Shunk as he's quickly in the hole at no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that whole 1, 2, and 3, Morris, Shunk, and Lipsius have all looked great this season. They've all looked good recently. And they've all been equally, I think, important to this Harwich Mariners teams, and integral part of the Mariners infield too.
0-2 pitch to Shunk is popped up high in the air out towards right field line. The right fielder Torkelson will call everybody off, and will make the catch for out number 2. So Belled so far so good here in the top of the first. Scoreless ball game between the Anglers and the Harwich Mariners. And there's now Andre Lipsius, who's playing first base this evening, hitting .323. So Lipsius will come around now from the right side towards that back edge of the batter's box. Lefty-righty matchup, first pitch from Belge. Off-speed pitch is in there at the knees for strike 1. 0-1 pitch. Misses low and in. County is back up at 1-1 strike. So mentioned before, Belge making his 4th start on the season, his 8th appearance, 1-2 with a 4.03 ERA, has 37 punch-outs in 29 innings. As 1-1 pitches on the inside corner for strike 2. Belge is ahead now, 1-2 strikes.
It's allowed 15 walks in those 29 innings, which is a little high. You want to be closer to that .3, .4 area.
1-2 pitch, cut on a miss pitch, elevated up in the zone, and Lipsius goes down swinging. So Belge retires the Mariners in order, 1-2-3. And after they tap the first scoreless ball game, listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Here in the bottom half of the first inning from Veterans Field in Chatham as they take on the Anglers. And on the mound for the Harwich Mariners is Austin Wood. But first, we'll go through the Anglers' defense.
Well, for the defense for the Harwich Mariners, out in left field, Ben Norman. In center field, Nate Eichhoff. He's making his first start out in center field this season. We'll get into that a little bit later. Gabe Rivera in right field. At third base, Aaron Shunk. At shortstop, Tanner Morris. Second base is Green. At first base, Lipsius. Behind the plate, Driscoll doing the catching for Austin Wood.
And Wood will have to face this Anglers lineup, which can be very dangerous, especially leading things off the first baseman out of USC, Blake Sable. He was 4th in the league in average. Batting second, John Rave, the center fielder, and the 3-hole right fielder, Spencer Torkelson. Clean up spot this inning. There's a second baseman, Michael Bush from UNC. Colin Simpson, left fielder, batting 5th. And the 6-hole is Cal McCann, the catcher, out of Georgia Tech, batting 7th. John McMillan, the DH. 8-hole Greg Jones, the shortstop, and rounding out the bottom is Ben Ramirez, playing third base in this evening's ball game. So Sable will start things off. We'll move all the way around to the left-hander's batter's box to face the right-hander pitcher, Austin Wood, out of Stetson.
Blake Sable leads this team in home runs with 7 home runs on the season. He hasn't had that many at-bats either, just 80 at-bats. And a really incredible feat to have 7 home runs and 80 at-bats. That's nearly 1 home run every 10 at-bats.
First pitch to Blake Sable is on the outside corner for strike 1. And Sable's second in the league in home runs. You talk about 7 home runs. He's second in the league, and Torkelson's just right behind him with 6, tied with Todd Lott and Austin Langworthy out of Florida. Late for the Commodores as one pitch just misses a bit outside for ball 1 as the count is back up at 1-1 strike.
Well, the most incredible thing about Torkelson is he has 6 home runs and just 59 at-bats. That's more than a home run every 10 at-bats, and you just don't see that very frequently. A home run, again, every 10 at-bats means you're hitting one virtually every other game.
One pitch misses just a bit inside on Sable as he moves out of the way just a tiny bit. 2 balls, 1 strike to count on Sable. Righty-lefty matchup, the 2-1 pitch. Outside corner, but just misses the outside black for ball 3. We mentioned Wood has had some problems with control this year. 9 walks in his last 9 innings pitched. The 3-1 from the windup. Outside corner, and it's in there. The count runs full on Sable, leadoff hitter for the Anglers in this evening's ball game. He's hitting .338 coming in. As I mentioned before, good for 4th in the league behind Stowers, Shenton, and Barefoot. Through 3 pitches, rolled over towards second base, towards Green. Green fields it. on to first base and just beating Sable there by a step for out number 1.
It's encouraging to see that kind of start from Wood. He works into a deep count and ends up working himself out of it and getting the lead out versus a dangerous hitter in Blake Sable. And we've seen Wood do an amazing job at certain points in the season, but at other times, you know, he's been subject to big innings from opposing teams. So we'll have to see if he can, you know, stay pretty consistent tonight and get a lot of outs early.
First pitch to Michael Bush is in at the knees for a strike, or excuse me, John Rave is in there for strike 1. Rave hitting .301 this year, was featured at the All-Star game back at White House Field on Sunday out of Illinois State as a 1 off-speed pitch misses inside for ball 1.
It is cloudy, but there's a little bit of rain in the forecast tonight. There's a 60% chance of rain at 9 p.m. That includes thunderstorms, and the threat continues at 10 at 40%. So we'll have to see if we can get tonight's game in its entirety. I think that we'll be able to get the first 5 or 6 innings in. The question becomes, can you complete the whole thing?
Well, 1 pitch is cut on a miss for a strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. I mentioned before, the last 2 games here have been fogged out. 1-2 pitch. The Rave is swung on and fouled back into the screen. They'll do it again at 1 ball and 2 strikes. So rain is expected around, I checked before, 10 o'clock. It's a 40% chance of thunderstorms, and then it only gets higher than that, 50% at 11.
Well, now it's 9 o'clock at 60%.
1-2 pitches, cut on, missed, and Rave goes down swinging. Austin Wood picks up his first strikeout, and we mentioned before he's had some really solid innings and some so-so innings. He had 1 solid inning back in his last start against Wareham, where he struck out 7 guys in a row out of his 8 strikeouts in that game.
Yeah, it was over the course of 3 innings, and he looked outstanding during that time frame. But aside from that, there were a number of innings where he ran himself into trouble, so we'll have to see how he could do tonight. Can he stay consistent? I think consistency is the big word for Austin Wood. If he can strike out a number of guys tonight, if he can get a lot of outs in a row, if he can retire a few, get a 1-2-3 inning here, another 1-2-3 inning possibly in the future in tonight's ball game, he'll be in good shape. But he's been subject to those big innings, as I mentioned before.
First pitch runs inside for ball 1. 1-0 misses upstairs. 2-0 on Spencer Torkelson, the right fielder out of Arizona State, who had 5 home runs in his first 12 games early in the year. Went to Team USA and then came back here and is still continuing that Terry's on. 2-0 misses outside, runs to the screen. 3-0 the count.
He's also been patient at the plate. There's no doubt of it. He has 16 walks compared to 15 strikeouts. And whenever you're over the 1 walk per strikeout ratio, it's really strong.
3-0 pitch from Wood, runs outside as Driscoll has to get out of his crouch to nab that one. So 4-pitch, 2-out walk issue to Spencer Torkelson. And now leading over towards the left side is Michael Bush out of UNC Chapel Hill.
And I think it's important to see how Wood's able to recover at this point. He's just walked his first batter of the game. We've seen walks have been an issue for Wood all season long. Now, can he come back and get a strikeout? Can he get an out off of a very dangerous hitter in Michael Bush after he walks Torkelson on 4 pitches?
Yeah, maybe some nerves as well, especially Torkelson. Really dangerous in the Cape League. First pitch of Bush is swung on and grounded over towards second. And throw on to first is in time. A ball that was lined between first and second base. Green was speedy enough as Lipsius dove and just couldn't quite make the play. But Green, nice play by Green, and even better for the pitcher, Wood, to cover first base.
Yeah, it's an outstanding play both by Wood and by Green. That looks like it's probably Lipsius's ball normally, but it was past the outstretched glove of Lipsius, and Green retreats out onto the shallow right field grass to make a nice grab, spins and throws to first in time. Great job by Wood covering. That ball oftentimes is headed into right field, but he covers nonetheless just in case, and Green comes up with an outstanding grab and a very nice throw to first base.
So Wood able to work out after the 2-out walk issue to Torkelson, and after 1 scoreless ballgame between the Chatham Anglers and the Harwich Mariners. Let's do Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. And back inside Veterans Field for the top half of the second inning. 3 up, 2 down to start things off for Jeff Belge on the top of the first. Mariners looking to make some noise here. Both teams still no hits over at the scoreboard out in left field. Leading things off is the left fielder, center fielder in the Eichhoff. First pitch is fouled off at the plate for strike one.
Eichhoff was without a hit last night, but he added a couple of RBIs on some fielders' choices. So, you know, he's been hitting the ball much better recently ever since that really rough start he had. He's still well over 200, so we'll have to see how he can do tonight, possibly rebound from his 0-for-5 night.
0-1 pitch to Eichhoff is lifted out towards shallow left field. The left fielder Simpson coming on to make the catch. That ball looked like it had a chance to drop, but maybe the wind carried it just a little bit out extra for Simpson to run and make the grab. So Eichhoff, leadoff hitter, is retired here in the top of the second inning, as Jeff Belge so far has continued to pitch excellent on the mound. So now with one out in the top of the second inning, it is the catcher Logan Driscoll out of George Mason. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch fastball runs up in the zone for ball one. Driscoll went 0-for-4 in yesterday's ball game. Was he's starting to heat up at the plate. Average over 200 now at 205 as 1-0 pitch just misses the outside black part of the plate for ball two. Okay, there's 2 balls, no strikes on Driscoll. Wind continues to blow out towards right center field now as the 2-0 pitch misses low and outside for ball three. Count runs to 3-0. So Driscoll looking to get on base here. Will be the first Mariners base runner to reach base in this ball game. 3-0 pitch from Belge misses downstairs, and just like that, a 4-pitch, 1-out walk issued to the catcher Logan Driscoll.
And as you mentioned, Logan Driscoll, the catcher in tonight's game, but he's played all over the diamond recently as a result of Brad Debo getting more reps behind the plate, and they're trying to mix everybody up, give as many guys opportunities as possible right now. Logan Driscoll has found himself in the outfield and left field, center field a bit, as Mariners have just gone through center fielder after center fielder after center fielder with guys going home for one reason or another. As a result, guys like Driscoll have played some center field, played some left field, and it's given them opportunities in the outfield, and it's given them opportunities at the plate too.
First pitch to Ben Norman runs up and inside for ball one. Driscoll over on first base. Lefty-lefty matchup to Norman. 1-0 pitch once more misses even higher as the catcher now McCann will go out to talk to his southpaw Jeff Belge. And there have been a numerous amount of injuries to this outfield. We saw Chris Galland from Boston College have to return home, and Gorski right now day-to-day.
Yeah, so they're going through, let's see, Watson. Gorski's still here, but he's not playing right now. Galland. And then there are even more. Norman's played some left field, and now Eichhoff tonight will be in center field. So again, it's been nearly everybody who could play center field has.
2-0 sliders on the outside corner for strike one to Norman. 2 balls, 1 strike is the count. Norman, his first at bat yesterday, was able to lift one out towards right field for a single. 2-1 pitch to Norman. Off-speed pitch there once more on the outside corner. Belge has all of a sudden found his control back after firing 5 straight balls to start off the second inning.
And one other I missed, Cam Thompson also played some center field.
2 balls, 2 strikes to count on Norman. Belge will go on, throw over towards first to check on the run over there, Logan Driscoll. Driscoll will take his lead back over at first. Belge comes set from the stretch. The 2-2 pitch to Norman. Norman able to reach the hands out there and just foul it off behind the press box areas. Once that foul ball touches ground, a horde of young kids will have to try to get a free souvenir. Make some Cape Cod memories. Belge comes set once more. The 2-2 pitch is at this time a late foul right at the screen just above the Anglers dugout. I was actually almost about to say A's, but we can't say that anymore. It's the Anglers. I guess you could say the Chatham A's, but
the official name had to be changed, of course, because the A's, but the real name for the A's is the Athletics. So that's one thing I'm a little bit wondering about.
2-2 pitches popped up in the air towards Chatham's dugout. The catcher, McCann, will give it a look, but it'll bounce right on top of the dugout. So Norman able to foul off another pitch.
I mean, I get it for teams like the Hyannis Mets, and it was with the Orleans Cardinals. I understand that those teams had to change because those are the exact same name, but if you're just the Chatham A's, I mean, the official name for Oakland is the Athletics, not the A's.
And you can even tell in your logo they got the angler, which
looks like the A's.
It does. 2-2 pitch. Outside corner does not get the call from the home plate umpire this evening, Tyler Bullock. Pitch that was awfully close, but count right now run 3 balls and 2 strikes on Norman. 3-2, 1 out. Runner on first. Belge gets this sign from the catcher, McCann. Comes set. The payoff pitch. Off-speed pitches right back at Belge. Bounces off his leg. He fields it, picks it up, throw on to first. Is in time to retire Ben Norman, but if that didn't hit him, that could have either been a single up the middle or it would have been a double play ball. So, anyhow.
Yeah, I will say well done by Jeff Belge to field that ball. It flex off of his leg. He charges in, fields it, and tosses over to first base. It's not easy. He may not be hurt, but you're going to have a little bit of pain after that ball is hit pretty hard off the bat and deflects off your leg. To have the awareness and the ability to get up off the mound and throw a strike over to first base.
It's a pretty defenseless stance as the first pitch to Casales runs just a bit inside on the hands for ball 1. Casales, whose average has dipped a bit now to 201, still has 2 home runs and 21 runs batted in. 1-0 pitch to Casales is fouled, or it's actually still in play, excuse me, bunted right towards the third base side. The catcher, McCann, goes out of his crouch and will field it. Route number 3, so after the 1-out walk issued to Driscoll, and then the ground and moving towards second base, the Mariners will strand Driscoll over at second base after 1.5 scoreless ball game between the Mariners and the Anglers. Listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network.
State, number 10, Colin Simpson.
And to start things off in the bottom half of the second inning will be Colin Simpson, Kyle McCann, and John McMillan. Simpson will move over to the left side to face the right-hander Austin Wood.
And for Colin Simpson, it has been a tale of 2 seasons. It's been a season starting on July 10th until the current time, and there was a season before July 10th for him.
First pitch to Simpson just misses the outside corner for ball 1.
And the first season that Colin Simpson had, he was batting 137, and that took place over the span of 71 at-bats.
1-0 pitch is rolled foul down the first base area for strike 1. Evens back up at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Now the second season he's had, over the past 42 at-bats, he has 20 hits and is hitting nearly 500. So you talk about 2 different players this season. There was one at the beginning of the season who struggled, one right now who is red hot.
1 fastball is located at the bottom part of the zone for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on Colin Simpson, a left fielder out of Oklahoma State. Simpson went 1 for 2 the last 2 games, including a double in the loss against Bruce. Of course, both those games shortened due to fog. 1-2 pitch from Wood, cut on and missed. Off-speed pitch gets him swinging as the catcher Driscoll is able to hold on to that one. So as Wood picks up his second punch out here in the bottom of the second inning.
And I think that, a lot of people just thought it would just be a matter of time before Colin Simpson started to break out. He hit 18 home runs back at Oklahoma State and was one of the better players in college baseball this season without a doubt. I think a lot of people were stunned he wasn't drafted. But still, Colin Simpson, somebody moving forward, you're going to see he's got a really good bat, and I think he's going to be one of the better players on this Anglers team for the final week or two of this season.
First pitch of the catcher from Georgia Tech, Kyle McCann, misses the outside black for ball 1. McCann, obviously, who was in the shadow of Joey Bart in a way, because McCann is a catcher, first baseman, but playing tonight as a catcher. 1-0 pitch has popped up on the right side of the infield. The first baseman Lipsius tracks it down, moves back a step, and makes the catch for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down so far to start off the bottom of the second inning, as Simpson and McCann, the first 2 Anglers, are retired here.
Yeah, Joey Bart was actually right here in Harwich last season. He played here for only about 10 games or so. And I think he was a little bit injured coming in after his college season, and he never was fully recovered. And he hit okay in Harwich, but it wasn't until he returned to school and he hit right around 360 this season and added, I think, 16 home runs, where the scouts were like, wow, this guy is something very special. You don't see that power all that frequently in college baseball, as a catcher especially.
First pitch to John McMillan at the knees for strike 1. Most of these Anglers are sporting those blue Chatham Angler blue wooden bats. 1 pitch misses down inside as McMillan just moves slightly out of the way. McMillan, a native of Jasper, Texas. Mentioned before, plays his college ball at Texas Tech. He's a two-way player. This is only his 9th at-bat on the season, but has made 5 appearances, including 2 starts for the Anglers, as 1 pitch is fouled back into the backstop for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count on McMillan. We actually saw McMillan pitch against the Harwich Mariners back on July 14th. He pitched 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 3 walks, and 5 punch-outs. But now he's making his second hitting debut. As the 1-2 pitch outside corner, strike 3 call. McMillan goes down looking, and just like that, a 1-2-3 inning worked by Austin Wood. He picks up his second punch out in the second inning and his 3rd in the ball game. So after 2, still a scoreless ball game between the Mariners and the Anglers. Let's do Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network.
Mariners baseball is brought to you in part by Curry College. For more information, visit www.curry.edu. Chatham Bars Inn, a proud member of leading hotels of the world. And Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care.
Back to inside Veterans Field for the top half of the 3rd inning. Still a scoreless ball game. Jeff Bellis returns to the rubber. He's retired the first 6 of the 7 hitters he has faced. Only one reaching was Logan Driscoll on a walk. Both teams still searching for their first base hit in this evening's ball game. 8-9 one-hitters due up for the Mariners. Gabe Rivera will do his work from the right side, facing left turn of Jeff Bell. His first pitch fastball is on the outside corner for strike 1. Rivera, whose bat has been coming alive as of late, only hitting 184, but don't let that number fool you as the 0-1 pitch is lined foul towards the on-deck circle, and Jordan Green showing his hops over there. That one came right at him. It's like a check swing by Rivera.
Yeah, he's been hitting the ball better recently, and he's got a very, very powerful bat. He can hit it very, very deep in any direction.
0-2 pitch inside, corner strike 3 call. Rivera goes down looking to start off the third inning as Belge picks up his second punch out in this evening's ball game. And we always talk about Rivera's home run power. He's a guy that a lot of his teammates believe that if he was able to compete in the home run derby contest on Sunday, he would easily win it.
He has not hit a home run yet on Cape Cod, though, surprisingly. I think that's probably the reason he wasn't able to get in. But he hit 5 home runs over at Fenway Park, all of them over the Monster, 1 out of Fenway Park altogether. So he's someone who has that elite power. Can he have the elite contact to go along with it? I think that's the question. If he can add the contact in with the power, he's someone who could be very dangerous.
First pitch to Jordan Green is at the belt for strike 1. Green only has 11 at-bats in this Cape League season, was a late addition to the roster. He didn't get added to around the July 4th area. 0-1 pitch misses outside for ball 1. Count as 1 ball and 1 strike on the second baseman out of Clemson. Belge from the windup, the 1-1. Slider just misses a bit up. Count heads to 2-1. Of course, Green made that nice play earlier in the game, back in the first inning. Play that was ball that was crushed out on the ground in between first and second. He made a nice play behind Lipsius. He was diving. Nice range from Green as the 2-1 pitch is once more at the belt on the inside corner for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count on the second baseman. Green calls time. We'll step back in. The 2-2. Outside corner strike 3 call, and Green goes down looking. So back-to-back punch-outs from Jeff Belge to start things off, and we thought it might have been more of an offensive game to start earlier in the game since the wind is blowing out, but so far it's been a pitcher's duel to say. I mean, I would have thought at least maybe one run would have been across here with the wind blowing out.
Well, not at all. It's been exactly as you mentioned, a complete pitcher's duel. Two teams' total offense has been 2 walks. That's it.
First pitch, Morrissey chops it over towards the second base area to Bush on a 2-hop. He picks it up and slides over to throw over towards Sable. First retired Tanner Morris. So after 2.5, it is still a scoreless ball game. No hits getting up by either side as the Anglers will come up to bat. Listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harsh Mariners Radio Network. There in the bottom half of the third inning, Austin Wood returning to the hill for his third inning of work. They also have to face the 8-9-1 hitters as both sides coming in into the third inning. In the top half, we saw only one base runner reach, and now after 3, it's still the same. And coming into the bottom third inning for the Anglers, only 1 base runner's reached as well, and that was a walk back in the first issue to Spencer Torkelson. So both sides so far still searching for their first base hit. First pitch to Greg Jones is just a bit outside for ball 1. Jones, who leading the league in steals at 15, has a ton of speed. I believe he might be him and Gallen probably the 2 fastest guys on the Cape at the Fenway workout as the 1-0 pitch is on the inside half of the plate for strike 1.
I know that Gallen was not quite where he wanted to be in terms of his 60 time. If I'm not mistaken, Jones won the or had the fastest 60 time. I think he was 6'4". I don't think he was quite 6'3", but he has a lot of speed.
1-1 pitch outside half the plate for strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count on Jones. And last time the Mariners played at Veterans Field, Jones was actually injured. He injured himself sliding into home plate, trying to score. He ended up scoring, but injured his hand as the 1-2 off-speed pitch is down below the knees. As Greg Jones just able to hold off, and now he bite at that one. 2 balls to 2 strikes here on Jones. Bottom of the third inning, scoreless ball between the Mariners and the Anglers. Nobody on. 2-2 pitch once more runs outside. The count runs full on the speedy Jones out of UNC Wilmington. Jones, who's a switch hitter. Only switch hitter on this Anglers team. There's no switch hitters on the Mariners roster. 3-2 pitch to Jones. Just misses a hair above the letters for ball 4. And now Jones is on the base pass. And if you're Logan Driscoll, you're well aware of who is over at first base.
If you're Logan Driscoll and if you're Austin Wood, I think if you're Austin Wood, you have to be very careful. Make sure you're checking on Jones enough so that he stays put over there at first base, but not too much so that you get distracted. We've documented this a number of times before, the number of times that Wood has run into these control issues. He's looked very good tonight. He's not allowed a hit yet through 2 innings of work, but we'll have to see if he can still make sure that he keeps enough track of the runner on first, but isn't too worried about him.
First pitch to the number 9 hitter, Ben Ramirez, the third baseman out of USC, misses inside for ball 1. Ramirez has averaged around 265, and Jones has now recorded a stolen base since he last played on July 20th in Katuitt. Jones heads off towards second base as the 1-0 pitch is swung on him, but chopped foul towards Lipsius. So Jones will have to retreat over towards first base. So count as 1 ball and 1 strike on Ramirez. And I wouldn't be surprised if Jones maybe wait another pitch and then try to go again. Again, this is a tied ball game. We've seen a lot of close games between the Mariners and the Anglers early on and late in the game as well. It's just the Anglers always have one big inning that puts them over the top, and that's one thing you want to avoid if the Mariners this evening. 1-1 pitch to Ramirez, misses outside. 2-1 the count now on Ramirez.
And again for Austin Wood, if he can find his control, he's as good as anybody on Cape Cod. He's that good. He has the great stuff. We mentioned the 7 consecutive strikeouts his last time out. He can do that. It's all about, can he pound that strike zone?
Wood comes set. He'll kick and fire. Jones heads towards second base as off the end of the bat skips off. Woods mid towards second base. Green looks back. Jones, but he's already had second base, will fire over to first to retire Ben Ramirez. So Ramirez does his job to move the runner over Jones over towards second, and that one took a weird hop off the mound. Might have hit Wood on the mound, but Green able to still field the ball and record the out.
Yeah, that was an interesting play because if Jones had, if there was not a swing there from Ramirez, I think Jones would have been out at second base. He stumbled right after he started to steal, and he tripped himself up for about a half second. That's enough to make a difference between you're getting caught stealing and you're being safe. So he recovered nicely from it, but I still think that if that pitch was not swung on, it would have been a caught stealing.
First pitch of Blake Sale, ground ball over towards Green. He bobbles it for a second. Jones being waved around third and will score easily. And the elusiveness from Jones there, you show his speed right there. That's picture perfect. And that ground ball was square right up to Jordan Green. It might have taken a last-minute hop off the grass. But that'll go as an E4 against Green over at second base as Sable will reach.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's something that you don't want to see. Jordan Green was there. He was in front of the ball. It just took a bit of a bad hop on him, and he's not back far enough so that he can adjust for that play. He's in that little bit of weird middle ground between playing it on a long hop and a short hop.
First pitch, it misses for ball 1. Throw down to second base to get as a pit ball goes through as Sable was running on the first pitch, and I think he might have saw that Wood wasn't going to hold him on. He decided to take a base, and Sable does just so as he's now sitting on second base. 0-1 the count on the center fielder this evening, John Rave. Right-lefty matchup. Wood from the stretch comes set, looks back. Sable at second. 0-1 pitch to Rave, bounces the dirt. Good block with the catcher, Logan Driscoll. Count as 1 ball and 1 strike on Rave. Rave, who struck out his first at bat, has an RBI opportunity here as the Angers are to lead 1-0 over the Mariners. Look to extend this lead in this inning. Yeah, he can pull a ball on the right side and move him over, and that's maybe the, not the worst thing in the world if Rave did that, as the 1-1 off-speed pitch misses low and outside for ball 2. Count heads to 2 balls, 1 strike on the center fielder out of Illinois State. Rave also averages is north of 300 coming in. 2-1 pitch to Rave, cut on and missed. As Wood makes a comeback here, Kenneman's back up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, it's going to be that same theme for the Mariners, is just prevent the big inning against the Angers. In all 4 matchups prior, there was 1 big inning by the Angers that just stretched the game out and put it out of reach. 2-2 pitches fouled off at the plate. So they'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You mentioned the wind blowing out into center field. It's breezy here. It's cold. It's an awfully cool day tonight on Cape Cod. You expect to see these, but these nights usually happen more in the early to mid-June time. Heading late July, and we still have these colder nights.
2-2 pitch as Rave just sticks the barrel out and almost pokes one down the left field corner, but it's foul.
I don't know if the wind is for some impending rain or whatnot, but again, it is a bit chilly here at Veterans Field.
Well, Chatham always has the wind closer to the water than it is in Harwich, and this is more towards the Atlantic area. So wind's always blowing off the water on Cape Cod. You can go anywhere in the Cape Cod and it'll be windy. That is definitely a fact. As 2-2 pitch from Wood skips into the third to the mid of the catcher Driscoll. Count now runs full on Rave.
And during batting practice today, Brad Devo, who's not in the lineup, was giving everybody a science lesson and a hunting lesson regarding the fog out in center field here at Veterans Field. He says that it's the dew point, and whatever the dew point is, if it's over that dew point, then there's going to be fog all over the place. Otherwise, it won't be there.
3-2 pitches chopped over towards the first baseman, Lipsius. Woods covering over at first as Lipsius throws it on to him to retire John Rave. And again, not the worst thing in the world for John Rave, as advancing towards third base is Blake Sable with 2 outs.
So yeah, well done by John Rave to advance the runner over towards third, and Wood does a nice job covering. Overall, Wood has had a nice night so far. Again, he's only allowed 1 walk, and the error is what has allowed the run to come around. So it's going to be an unearned run against Austin Wood, who has looked, for the most part, really solid tonight.
First pitch is Spencer Torres off the edge of the barrel up towards the first base area. Wood flips it over to first at Lipsius, and just like that, Torkelson is retired here in the bottom of the third. But after 3, it's the error that Sable was able to drive in a run as Greg Jones comes around to score. So after 3, 1-0, Angers lead over the Harwich Mariners. Listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network.
Welcome back inside Veterans Field, top half of the fourth inning. It is still a 1-0 Chatham Anglers lead. Harwich Mariners and Chatham Anglers have combined for a total of no hits. 1 run scored by Chatham in the bottom of the third inning was a result of a walk, and Greg Jones advanced to second base, ended up scoring on an error. First pitch to Aaron Shunk. Fastball on the outside corner for strike one, and the count no balls and 1 strike on the right-handed hitter.
Yeah, we've seen a couple innings this year where it's been like that. No hits recorded by the other team, and they somehow able to grid off a run after a couple walks or an error, sac fly.
0-1 pitch misses below the knees on Shunk, count 1-1. Now the 1-1 offering in the dirt, in the count 2 balls and 1 strike on Shunk. And Shunk was in the 3 spot earlier this season. It looked like that was going to sort of be his home for the rest of the year, but after Chris Gallen went down and had to go home, everybody moved up a spot in the lineup, and now Shunk in the 2-hole as the 2-1 pitch is swung on. A high pop-up down the first base side. The first baseman, Sable, moves over to foul ground and makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
Number 13, Andre.
And just the injury to Chris Gallen really kind of changed not only this lineup, but the defensive alignment as well for this Harwich Mariners. A guy that had a lot of speed out in center field, because then you're able to slide Gorski and Norman, put those guys, you know, when you put Norman in right, Gorski at left, and that's a very quick outfield area that can really prevent a lot of balls from touching grass.
Andre Lipsius, the right-handed hitter, digs in. The first pitch misses low and inside for ball 1, and you're exactly right on that front. Right now, the Harwich Mariners outfield, there are a lot of guys who are either not playing their natural position or not playing where they'd like to play or where they normally play back at college, as the 1-0 pitch is missing outside, count 2-0. For example, the best example of this would be Nate Eichhoff. Eichhoff, somebody who normally plays first and third at college, as the 2-0 pitch misses low in the dirt, count 3 balls and no strikes. He normally plays first and third, but here on Cape Cod, he has played first base, he has played second base, third base, he's frequently played in left, and tonight he's making his first appearance in center field. That is position number 5 on Cape Cod. The 3-0 delivery to Lipsius. Catches the inside corner. It looks like Lipsius thought that would be ball 4, but Tyler Bullock, the home plate umpire, calls him back. He says, no, that's on the inside corner. The 3-1 delivery. Breaking ball swung on and missed. In the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lipsius a little bit fooled by that pitch as he swung right over it. And the count runs full at 3-2. Base paths empty, 1 out. The 3-2 pitch at the lower part of the zone. Lipsius doesn't like it, but he's called out on strikes by Tyler Bullock, and there are 2 away in the top of the 4th.
Well, Bellows has looked very, very good so far in his start here tonight. And then it seems like every time an Angler pitcher comes to face the Harwich Mariners, they are just looking like Cy Young winners out here. They just do a great job.
First pitch to Eichhoff, swung on, a ground ball over towards short. Jones fields, throws the first, not in time. And the first base hit of the night for the Harwich Mariners comes from the infield variety off the bat of Nate Eichhoff. And there's a runner on first base with 2 outs for the Harwich Mariners.
Well, it doesn't have to be pretty. It just goes down the hit column, and good job by Eichhoff to really run that one out and able to beat out the throw from Jones. As a slow chopper over towards Jones, who's playing deep, almost on the grass. Had to charge in instead of his feet, but just not quick enough to retire Eichhoff.
And the speed and the effort show. The scouts recognize that, and it's an important element of the game. If you're going to hustle down that first base line, the scouts like to see it, and you're going to buy yourself a couple of base hits over the course of a season, as the first pitch is a fastball swung on a foul tip into the catcher's mitt from Logan Driscoll, the 5-hitter. It was a left-handed hitting catcher. The Mariners have a couple of those on their roster, Driscoll along with Brad Debo.
Definitely nice to have.
It's not the most traditional thing to see. The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball misses inside, and the count 1-1. But you'll see it from time to time, and I think they're becoming a little bit more common. And that, all catchers will always throw with their right hands, and it's a result of the throw down a second is slightly easier if you are a right-handed throwing catcher. There are a couple other reasons regarding the throw down to third base, as well as the 1-1 pitch is swung on and fouled off out of play down the third base side.
Well, if you're a lefty catcher, you're going to have to turn your body over towards third base. If you're a righty, you're just going to sidestep over towards third, and it's an easier throw. Now, obviously, the first base, you would have to turn your body a little bit, turn your shoulders.
And it's an easier motion, and now after it's sort of become so commonplace to see only right-handed throwing catchers. You just don't see the left-handed throwing catchers. The 1-2 pitch swung on, a check swing, but he goes around as the fastball upstairs is swung on and missed, and that'll do it for the top of the 4th inning. At the end of 3.5, it is the Chatham Anglers 1 and the Harwich Mariners nothing. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Bottom of the 4th inning from Veterans Field. Austin Rooney alongside Thomas Zinzarella. It is a 1-0 Chatham Anglers lead as Austin Wood returns to the mound for his 4th inning of work. As Michael Bush, the left-handed hitter, takes ball 1 below the knees in the count 1-0. And Austin Wood has thrown 47 pitches through the 3 innings of work as the 1-0 pitch misses low in the count 2 balls and no strikes. And, he's getting towards that 50 mark, and I think that, if he keeps up at this rate, you'll see him go 5-6 innings as the 2-0 pitch just misses off the outside corner in the count 3 balls and no strikes. And, of course, the walks have sort of been that issue all season long for Austin Wood. Already walked 2 batters tonight. Now the 3-0 pitch misses outside. That'll be the 3rd walk of the evening from Austin Wood. And the hits haven't been an issue. They haven't been an issue really all season long. Tonight, he hasn't allowed a single hit through 3+ innings of work, and yet another runner on first base with no outs.
I'll definitely think maybe 4 innings would be ideal from Austin Wood. I don't think he would go any more than 4. I don't think so.
I think a lot of it depends on the pitch count. Pitch count is what really matters the most. If you can pitch 5 innings and you only throw 50 pitches, well, then you can go a little longer as the first pitch misses inside on Colin Simpson, and Austin Wood has started the inning with 5 consecutive balls. They've all been close, and that's the encouraging sign.
Well, also, the thing is, too, if Coach Egger feels that he doesn't want Wood facing this order for the 3rd time around, he might just want to go to his bullpen.
1-0 pitch misses outside in the count 2 balls and no strikes. We've seen times in the past, I think specifically was that second time out for Wood in the game versus YD, where he just did not have a sense of the strike zone. And I think it's been a less of that and just more he's missing a couple inches inside, a couple inches outside. And that's resulted in the walks. And now the 2-0 pitch misses significantly outside. And the count 3 balls and no strikes. And now you reach that same sort of issue. He's thrown 7 consecutive balls now to start off the bottom of the 4th inning.
I think he's definitely a big confidence guy in the mound. When he's pitching well, he's soaring. He can't be stopped. But a couple guys get on, he loses focus a little bit. I don't know what goes on. Maybe gets a little angry at himself. I know there's definitely, each pitcher's definitely different away how they handle the stress and on the mound.
3-0 pitch, fastball right down the plate, and the count 3-1. And, you know, he can rely on his fastball. He's got good stuff. He's got good secondary pitches as well. So I think it's just a matter of, can he control it? Can he throw these balls in the strike zone? Because if he does, he's going to get a lot of swings and misses. As the 3-1 pitch is a fastball outside, and that's ball 4. And back-to-back walks from Austin Wood. And we talked about this a little bit earlier in the broadcast. How does Wood respond from the initial walk? After he walks a batter, it's okay if you walk one guy and you don't allow another hit throughout the rest of the inning. But if you allow one walk and then it goes to the next walk and the following walk, that's when it starts to become a problem. And Logan Driscoll having a chat with Austin Wood, and the pitching coach Steve Gruenberg jogs out to have a chat with both Driscoll and Wood. Make sure that they're on the same page. The confidence level is high with Austin Wood. You mentioned the confidence being a big factor. As there is some action in the Harwich Mariners bullpen, we'll let you know who it is as soon as we get word. And the meeting continues. And now Steve Gruenberg exits the mound. We'll jog back to the dugout. And now, you're hitting the latter part of the order. It's a 6, 7, and 8 guys will be coming up next. And the 6th hitter in the lineup, Kyle McCann, stands in from the left side.
I believe McCann and Shunk were either teammates back, around the high school time, AU teammates, or I believe they played against each other. Couldn't quite remember which one it was, but I know that McCann and Shunk would have known each other. They also played at 2 rival schools, Georgia Tech and Georgia.
First pitch trying to bunt down the third base line, but it goes foul on the count 0-1.
Well, Chad looking to go small ball here. You have 2 men on and nobody out, and not a bad idea. It's a low-scoring game so far. Why not try to manufacture a few runs, put a couple guys in motion, and it's the wheel play as well. So we'll see which run guys in the corner will charge in, I think. Right now it's looking Lipsius is on the grass, but Shunk is kind of in line with the third base bag, so I think Lipsius is going to charge in. Means Green's got to roll over towards first base if they want to go there.
And the other question is, if Shunk can cover third, that's even better, as the 0-1 pitch misses upstairs, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike, because Shunk is close enough to that bag so that if the bunt comes right back to the mound, there may be a play over at third base to get that lead out.
Well, that's always the most ideal way if you're the field that is trying to field this bunt. Always trying to see if you have a play at third. If not, go to first.
And the 1-1 pitch swung on, a line drive to deep center field, drifting back and making the catch is Eichhoff, throwing it back into the infield. There's 1 out in the bottom of the 4th.
It's unfortunate for Chatham, a line drive right at the center fielder. If he touched the gap, it would have scored at least 1, maybe even 2. And also, over at second base, Bush can't advance because you have to see if that ball is going over the center fielder. Eichhoff said it doesn't, able to field it. And so Bush was kind of halfway in between second and third, so had to retreat back and couldn't tag up. So that's a win-win if you're the Mariners, and now a double play ball can get you out of this inning.
Couldn't have worked out much better for the Harwich Mariners. Keeps the runners still at first and second. And they get the out. Works just as well as a strikeout. The first pitch to the 7-hitter, John McMillan, is swung on and missed in the dirt. Nicely blocked by Driscoll to keep it in front of him in the count 0-1. Bottom of the 4th inning, a 1-0 Anglers lead. Runners on first and second with 1 out. The Anglers scored 1 run in the bottom of the 3rd. Came off a walk, a stolen base, or a fielder's choice, and then an error. And the 0-1 pitch, check swing, but it's on the inside corner nonetheless, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And Austin Wood with an opportunity to strike out another hitter here. He's got a couple pitches to work with, but you don't want to let him throw a few straight balls. Now the 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, swung on and missed. And McMillan goes down swinging, and all of a sudden there are 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning.
And Austin Woods did a nice job to make a comeback here after walking the first 2 Anglers he faces in the sitting, now comes back with after the line out to center with a big punch out. This is huge if you're Austin Wood on the mound.
Afterwards, it'll be Greg Jones. Or here's Greg Jones, and it'll be Ben Ramirez if necessary on deck. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th inning, a 1-0 Anglers lead. The first pitch to Jones, the speedster, is outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes.
And it's big, too, that the runners didn't advance because anything towards the left side of the infield, you might as well just go to second base. With Jones's speed, don't try to risk it throwing towards first base. If you're Morris or Shunk, get the easier out over at second base. So, again, the force out playing a big factor here.
The 1-0 pitch misses low and in, and the count 2 balls and no strikes. Bush off of second, Simpson off first. 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. The 2-0 pitch. This is outside with a fastball on the count 3-0, and they talk confidence, and this is again sort of becoming that same story. You can't let one walk work to the next, and he's already walked 2 in the inning, and he records back-to-back outs. He throws a couple of balls, and now it's already 3-0. 3-0 pitch, fastball, right down the middle, and the count 3 balls and 1 strike on Greg Jones.
The thing is, too, some of these pitchers have also missed. You mentioned earlier they're just missing. You know, maybe 1 or 2 pitchers in that bat have just missed as well. So now with 1 strike on Jones, he might try to take a hack at that at 1 and maybe try to, if he fouls it off, that's big for Wood.
3-1 pitch, fastball misses upstairs, and that's ball 4. It's the 3rd walk of the inning from Austin Wood. He's gone 3 2/3. That's walk number 5 tonight. Has not allowed a single hit, though, so it's been a weird night in that way from Austin Wood.
Yeah, you know, the walks so far have been piled up against him. He has 5 walks, as you just said. Nothing, only 1 run to come across, and that was on the air. So they haven't really hurt him yet, but you know, you just got a feeling that after a while you can't walk too many guys because you're going to have to pay for maybe a hit at one point.
Wood kicks around some dirt on the mound. Digging in from the left side is Ben Ramirez. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Every single runner has reached via the walk. The first pitch to the left-handed hitter. This is just low and outside. Austin Wood does not get the benefit of the doubt from the home plate umpire, Tyler Bullock. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball on the outside corner, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Bush off of 3rd, Simpson off 2nd, Jones leads off of first base, and it's Ramirez in the left-handed batter's box. 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning, a 1-0 Anglers lead, and this is a crucial point in tonight's ball game. The 1-1 pitch. This is low and in the dirt, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike. And it's crucial because if Chatham gets a hit here, that could plate 2 runs, and this game is looking very, very different. All of a sudden, it could open up a real lead and a cushion for the Anglers. On the other hand, if Austin Wood works out of this, it could be a pretty big confidence boost for the Mariners. The 2-1 pitch, swung on and chopped foul down the first base side, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And anything in the gaps, just scoring 3 with Jones over on first base, 2 outs in the crack of the bat he's running. Now it's up to the third base coach, Randy Whistler, for Chatham if he wants to send him or not, and maybe try to take a chance. And remember, Greg Jones did get injured here back at Veteransville the last time the 2 teams played each other here.
2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, struck him out. A huge strikeout from Austin Wood to close out the 4th inning. He ran himself into trouble. He walked 3 in the inning, but at the end of 4 innings of play, it's still a 1-0 Anglers lead. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network.
left fielder, number 19, Ben.
Top of the fifth inning from White House Field, Austin Rooney alongside Thomas Zinzarella as the Harwich Mariners trail in this ball game 1-0. It was a run scored in the bottom of the third, and that was all the Anglers have needed so far, and it was on a walk, a fielder's choice, and then an error that allowed Greg Jones to come home and score. The first pitch to the left-handed hitter, Ben Norman, runs up and in. He was showing bunt, almost came up and hit him in the upper body area, but he was able to dodge out of the way, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Norman, Casals, and Rivera due up in the top of the fifth. The 1-0 pitch, breaking ball misses in the dirt, and the count 2 balls and no strikes on Norman. Only 2 batters have reached base for Harwich. It was Logan Driscoll who reached on a walk back in the top of the second inning, and Eichhoff reached on a single in the top of the fourth. And the pitch to Norman misses low, and it's now ball 3, and the count 3 balls and no strikes on the left-handed hitter. Base paths empty, no outs. The 3-0 pitch, fastball right down the middle, and the count 3-1. And I think if you're Ben Norman right now, you have to try and see if you can work a walk, play some small ball. As the 3-1 pitch misses low and outside, and he does just that. Norman's on first base with no outs in the top of the fifth. And now you have a runner on first. And you can't be surprised if you're going to try to play some small ball here. Try to advance Norman over to second base, put him in scoring position, and then all of a sudden a base hit could tie this ball game. As Danny Casals taps home plate once and digs in from the right side, where he straps his shield on his left ankle and digs back in. First pitch from the left-hander, Belge, on the outside corner, and the count 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to the right-handed hitter, Casals, misses low and inside, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Norman off of first, no outs. Top of the fifth inning in a 1-0 Chatham Anglers lead. The 1-1 pitch, fastball misses upstairs, and the count 2-1. And Belge has had some trouble finding the strike zone in the top of the fifth. 6 balls and 2 strikes in this inning. Belge tosses back over towards first. Diving in safely is Norman. Runner on first base, no outs. And tossing over once again is Belge. That ball almost getting away from the first baseman, Sable, but does a nice job to make a play on that ball.
Be something here if Norman could advance just on an error.
2-1 pitch, fastball swung on and missed, and the count even at 2-2. Austin Rooney alongside Thomas Zinzarella. We're glad to have you alongside us this evening. The 2-2 pitch, runner goes, it misses inside, throw down a second, not in time. So Ben Norman steals second base. And now a runner in scoring position with still no outs. The count now full on Danny Casals at 3 balls and 2 strikes. And I think Norman got a sense of when is Belge looking over, when is he throwing over, and after you sort of get a read on the pitcher, then you can make that attempt to steal.
Well, especially when you see a couple pitches go by, you kind of get maybe a sense of how he's going to deliver towards home plate. And the Mariners, surprised that they don't run a lot as of late since Gallen is gone. Again, a team that has least amount of stolen bases in the league and been caught stealing the most.
The 3-2 pitch to Casals. This is low, a check swing. They motion over to second, and they say he goes around. So 1 out in the top of the fifth.
That's 6 strikeouts now for Belge. continues to deal on the mound, even though there is a runner in scoring position. I think this is big here for the Mariners. You want to at least score one here. Get Norman in. They haven't had a lot of base runners this evening, only 2 off or this would be the third. But prior to this inning, only 2 base runners reached in 4 innings.
Only 1 via the hit. There were 2 now via the walk. Eichhoff reached with a base hit back in the 4th inning, and then it was a walk to Logan Driscoll back in the 2nd. First pitch misses upstairs on Gabe Rivera on the count. 1 ball and no strikes. A base hit to right field, and even center field should get the job done, which would be able to score Norman. It's Rivera followed by Green. The 1-0 delivery. Fastball swung on and missed. The count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch to Rivera misses low and in, and the count 2-1. Norman off second base, 1 out, top of the 5th inning. A 1-0 Anglers lead. As Gabe Rivera, who has that power bat, and you never know when it's going to strike. As a 2-1 delivery, fastball swung on and missed, again up and out of the zone, and Belge gets him to bite. Belge comes set. Now steps off the mound. And steps back onto the rubber. The 2-2 pitch, breaking ball, swung on and missed. And Rivera goes down swinging, and there are 2 away in the top of the 5th.
Those are 2 big strikeouts there for Jeff Belge. And now, there's nobody out, and Norman was on second base, and now back-to-back punch-outs, and 2 outs, and Norman's still over at second base. So unable to advance and really unable to look at a slimmer chance here for the Mariners to score a run with 2 outs. So fog beginning to roll in now, a little bit higher up towards the lights level, but something to keep an eye on as this game goes on.
And the first pitch to Jordan Green. Fastball swung on and missed, and the count 0-1. And as I was talking about earlier, we were getting that science lesson from Brad Debo down on the field. It's all about that dew point and what the temperature is, and the temperature is right. The dew, I guess, will then evaporate into the clouds.
Especially when you're close to the water as well.
And the wind will blow it over towards the field area. And the 0-1 pitch, fastball again, swung on and missed. And the count, no balls and 2 strikes on Jordan Green, who was sporting the outstanding cleats from Clemson. They got the orange coloring with the purple laces. The 0-2 delivery. Fastball misses upstairs in the count 1-2. Norman off second, 2 outs. 1-0 Anglers lead in the top of the 5th. The 1-2 pitch misses low and in the dirt. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch, fastball upstairs in the count 3-2. Belge was ahead on Jordan Green, no balls and 2 strikes, but Green works himself back in the count, and now it is full at 3-2.
Yeah, Green doing a nice job here to work the count. They try to prolong this, sitting on the reaching base or getting a base hit.
The 3-2 pitch, fastball well upstairs and outside. And it is a walk issued to Jordan Green. Runners on first and second, 2 outs in the top of the 5th. And it's yet another example of Belge, who's had trouble at times tonight finding that strike zone.
Yeah, he has now walked 3 in this ball game. Not as much as Austin Wood has, but he has also looked dominant at times, and other times just lost the control just a bit. Not unable to finish off a few hitters.
First pitch to the leadoff hitter, Tanner Morris, clips the outside corner for strike one. 73 pitches thrown from Belge this evening. And he's probably getting close to his pitch count max. Maybe you'll see him out in the sixth, but I would not expect to see him any further than that. The 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball on the outside corner of the count. No balls and 2 strikes on Tanner Morris. It's Morris who would be followed by Shunk if necessary. As it's back to the top of the Harwich Mariners order. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. The 0-2 pitch swung on. Line drive into left field for a base hit. And Norman is forced to pull up at third base. And I think it's the right call as Simpson made a strong throw to the plate. It's just unfortunate for the Harwich Mariners because they haven't had that many opportunities, and they get a base hit from Tanner Morris with a runner in scoring position, and he's unable to come home.
No, that's exactly the right decision by Coach Pasquarello at third base. That ball was just off the edge of the barrel into left field, and Colin Simpson playing average distance, but got a good read on it coming anyway since there was a blooper in a way, and Norman was going to be thrown out if he attempted to score.
So the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Top of the 5th inning, a 1-0 Chatham Anglers lead. We'll step aside as there's a call to the bullpen. We'll sort out the details when we come back. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Mariners Baseball is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. Expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care. Curry College. For more information, visit www.curry.edu. And Chatham Bars Inn, a proud member of leading hotels of the world. Welcome back in the top half of the 5th inning as Gregory Valise enters the game for the Chatham Anglers. He comes on in relief tonight. And it's going to be Aaron Shunk who will start things off with 2 outs, bases loaded. And the Mariners looking to get themselves on the board.
A new pitcher on the mound, Gregory Valise, native of Key West, Florida, plays his college ball at Miami.
First pitch swung on, a high chopper over towards short. It gets by the shortstop Jones and into left field. 1-run scores. Coming around and scoring from second base is the 9-hitter Jordan Green. It's a 2 RBI ground ball error by the shortstop Jones, and the Harwich Mariners have taken the lead in the top of the 5th, 2-1.
Yeah, just a tough play by the shortstop Jones, just trying to scoop it. Did a little too quickly, didn't stay down on the ball, and the ball gets right past him into left center field for a base hit. 2-run scoring, and that's key now for the Harwich Mariners.
And now it's Andre Lipsius, the third hitter in the Mariners' order. With runners on first and second, they now lead this game 2-1. The first pitch swung on, a ground ball deflects off the pitcher over towards the shortstop, Jones. He'll flip to second, and that will do it, but not before the Harwich Mariners add 2 runs and lead this game 2-1 after 4.5. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Bottom of the 5th inning from Veterans Field in Chatham, Massachusetts. The Harwich Mariners now lead in this game 2-1. The Anglers struck first in the bottom of the 3rd inning, scoring a run on a walk, a fielder's choice, and then an error over at second base. And then in the top of the 5th inning, there were the bases loaded with 2 outs, and a ground ball over towards short got by the glove of Jones, and 2 runs came in for the Harwich Mariners, who now lead this game 2-1. New pitcher on the mound is Jacob Bradley. The first pitch to Blake Sable is swung on, a high fly ball into left field. And left fielder Norman takes a couple steps over and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So 1 away, and Jacob Bradley, an interesting pitcher for the Harwich Mariners, making his first appearance on the season. He played at Marshall this past season, and next year he will be over at West Virginia State.
You're making a nice jump to the Cape here.
He was an all-star back over in the Valley League is what he was telling me, and after that he was promoted to Cape Cod, and the first pitch to the number 2 hitter, John Rave, is bunted foul down the 3rd baseline, and the count 0-1.
Well, that's where Tom Sutera played last summer. Now he's got a big league contract, so again, a lot of these smaller leagues will funnel into the Cape. You know, the NACBL, the Futures League, the
Northwoods League,
Northwoods, the
Alaska
California Coastal.
The 0-1 pitch to Rave. Breaking ball misses low, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike.
I mean, there's a ton. You got the Coastal Playing League, and then there's the New York Collegiate Baseball League, and then there's the Cal Ripken League.
NYCBL, actually the league that my roommate and our scout liaison here in Harwich played in. As the 1-1 pitch runs upstairs and inside, and the count 2-1. The 2-1 delivery to Rave. Misses upstairs and inside, and the count 3 balls and 1 strike. The 3-1 pitch from Bradley. Misses upstairs, and it is a 5-pitch walk issued to John Rave. Runner on first base, 1 out. 2-1 Mariners lead in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, Rave reaching for the first time this evening. God, that's accustomed reaching base a few times a game.
And Spencer Torkelson, who's always so dangerous, steps in from the right side. He's walked and grounded out to the pitcher. The first pitch is at the knees for strike one. And, you know, what a change it must be for someone like Jacob Bradley, who comes out of the Valley League, and it's a good league. But you go from that to pitching in your first game here in Chatham, Massachusetts, facing off against one of the best hitters in college baseball in Spencer Torkelson. The 0-1 delivery. This is just below the knees in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, it's definitely an adjustment to make, and a lot of these guys usually don't have nerves. There's actually a Cape Cod Times article written about that, saying, you know, most guys, everyone thinks they have nerves, but they really don't. Just another game for them.
1-1 pitch, swung on and missed. Throw down a second is in time. They got him. They get John Rave stealing second base. The count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And it's a caught stealing from Driscoll. A great throw, not a great jump from Rave. The throw was way in time. And the question was, can they get the tag down? And they did. So 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning, as Torkelson steps back in from the right side. Again, a count 1 and 2.
That was a good pitch to run on, or excuse me, to throw on. Fastball up in the zone, and Driscoll throws a missile down a second to throw out Rave.
The 1-2 pitch, swung on, a high fly ball. Left center field. Norman can't find it, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Oh my, it's the fog and the lights, and the first base hit for Chatham is one that is going to come in unfortunate circumstances for the Harwich Mariners. It's a high fly ball to left center field, and Norman, he just sort of threw his arms up at the last second saying, I have no idea where this ball is, and then the center fielder Eichhoff's like, well, I think it's over there in left center, and by the time they get to it, it's going to be extra bases for Spencer Torkelson. That will end the no-hitter, if you will, for the Harwich Mariners. It was through 4 2/3, so they had something going there. But probably not the way the Mariners wished that would have ended. They had an opportunity to sort of hold that on for a little bit longer, but unfortunately it's just sort of wrong spot as they lose it in the lights and in the fog. And runner on second with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's now the 4-hitter Michael Bush, and this becomes quite a threat now for the Chatham Anglers. First pitch misses outside, and the count 1 ball and no strikes on Bush.
And just tough for Norman out there. It is awfully tough to not just to track a ball in the night sky, but also when there's fog, and it's mostly out towards left field as well.
The 1-0 pitch, fastball in there for a strike, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Michael Bush this season hitting over 300. He has 4 home runs along with 11 RBIs. Somebody who is dangerous at the plate. There's a reason he's in that cleanup spot. The 1-1 pitches missing in the dirt. Throw down a second now from Driscoll as Torkelson had himself a lead, and it gets by the shortstop Morris and into center field. Advancing to third base is Spencer Torkelson. And there's a runner on third with 2 outs.
Well, it's a nice idea by the catcher, Driscoll, because Torkelson was a couple steps too far off second base, and I think if the throw was accurate, they might have almost had him over at second base, but just a little bit wide. It's awfully tough to snap throw down towards second base. It's a good idea, though.
It's a bit of a good idea, although it is quite risky. You know, those overthrows happen very frequently on the catcher throws down to second, and the 2-1 pitch is chopped over towards first base. Lipsius Fields, he'll step on the bag, and that will do it for the bottom of the 5th inning. The Anglers strand 1, and at the end of 5, it is a 2-1 Mariners lead. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Top of the 6th inning from Veterans Field. As the Harwich Mariners lead in this ball game 2-1. Austin Rooney alongside Thomas Inzarella. We're glad to have you with us for tonight's game as Nate Eichhoff digs in from the left side. First pitch is a fastball blown right by him for strike one. Now Nate Eichhoff is quite the utility field player in the field. He has played 5 positions: first base, second base, third base, left field, and center field. As the 0-1 pitch is cut on and fouled off behind home plate, and the count no balls and 2 strikes. And you just don't see that all that often nowadays. You know, there are some utility players in the MLB, but generally, you know, guys have specific positions. But Nate Eichhoff has been everything for the Harwich Mariners in terms of a defensive utility player. The 0-2 delivery swung on, a ground ball gently over towards shortstop. Fielded by Jones. The throw to first is in time, and there's one away in the top of the 6th.
I see a lot of guys being versatile, and they've grown up playing multiple positions, and Eichhoff just continuing into college as well.
So 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. Logan Driscoll steps in from the left side. First pitch misses inside and gets by the catcher, McCann, in the count 1 ball and no strikes. Catcher McCann has no relation to Brian McCann in the MLB. His father did play in the minor league system of the New York Mets as the 1-0 pitch is swung on and fouled off down the left field side out of play. In the count 1 ball and 1 strike.
We're always accustomed to seeing there's a lot of major leaguers' sons who come through Cape Cod. I remember thing off the top of my head last year was Jeff Conine's son, Mr. Marlins, Griffin Conine.
And then Jack Dreyer's father as well. The 1-1 pitch to Driscoll on the outside corner in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Base paths empty. 1 out in the top of the 6th. The 2-1 Mariners lead. It's Logan Driscoll, who's actually reached once already tonight. Reached via the walk back in the 2nd. The 1-2 pitch is swung on. A high fly ball into left center field. Simpson on the run. Trailing back and makes the catch for the 2nd out of the inning. Quick 2 up and 2 down from Valise.
And Jeff Conan actually played for Orleans, and obviously Griffin played for Katuitt. And I know Al Ladder played for Orleans, and his son right now is committed to go to Vanderbilt. He was in the high school All-American game. He might make his way to the Cape as well. So.
And the first pitch is an off-speed pitch below the knees, but Norman gives it a big swing and a miss, in the count 0-1.
I was thinking about, I saw that Al Later was talking, and that his son did the Orleans Firebirds camps in 2010. I could have been in the same group as his son. His son's only a year older than me, so who knows?
0-1 pitch misses low, in the count 1-1. The 1-1 pitch misses upstairs and outside, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike.
And yet the fog continues to thicken here. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a fog delay coming soon.
2-1 pitch swung on and fouled off out of play, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, the rain threat appeared quite large just about an hour ago. It was saying 60% at 9 p.m. on my weather app. Well, that has dropped from 60% to 30%. So there's still a chance of rain, but it's also very possible that all misses us as the 2-2 pitch misses it low and outside to Ben Norman, and the count full at 3-2. And the fog is in here at Veterans Field. It's not as bad as I'm sure it's going to need for a delay as the 3-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Valise gets Ben Norman swinging to end the top of the 6th inning. It's still a 2-1 Mariners lead. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Bottom of the 6th inning from Veterans Field. Austin Rooney alongside Thomas Zinzarella. Glad to have you with us as it is a 2-1 Harwich Mariners lead. And Jacob Bradley goes an inning of work. He pitched in the bottom of the 5th, and Jacob Westfall comes in relief of Bradley, and he's going to pitch the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, we've seen a couple newcomers coming and going. Bradley was just activated earlier this week, and Westfall was last week. So, and we're getting those new guys accustomed to the Cape and just, showing them the ropes in that way.
Number 10, Colin Simpson.
The 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up for the Anglers: Simpson, McCann, and McMillan. As Driscoll out to have a quick chat with Westfall before they start pitching to the leadoff hitter, Simpson. A total of 3 hits between the two teams. 2 hits for Harwich and just 1 for Chatham. The first pitch to Simpson misses low for ball 1, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. The only hit for Chatham, you can barely call it a hit. It was a very high fly ball to left center field, and left fielder Norman lost in the lights, and the 1-0 pitch misses outside, and the count 2-0. Either lost in the lights or the fog or one thing or another, but it is becoming very, very foggy here at Veterans Field. It's known for its fog as the 2-0 delivery runs inside, count 3-0, but there have been a couple of fog outs the last couple of nights, and now there could be a fog delay as it continues to move from the third base side out towards right field. As a 3-0 pitch in there for strike 1.
I think it's unique that Chatham has the fog. Not many fields will get that fog unless you're maybe in San Francisco along the bay.
3-1 pitch is swung on. A high fly ball to deep right field. Rivera headed back to the track, to the wall. You can say goodbye. Colin Simpson ties this game with 1 swing of the bat, and it's a 2-2 ball game from Veterans Field.
You can just tell the elevation right off the bat that Colin Simpson caught that one square on the barrel and gets enough to go out towards right center field onto that hill. That hill will be looking very different next year when they terrace it almost to Eldridge. Nice spot to watch a game up there, but this time that's where his ball ends up out in right field.
There still are some people sitting out there in right field. It's usually on the top of the hill.
Yeah, it's a little tough because you're basically just a straight shoot down on that hill. This whole field look very different next summer.
And the first pitch to the 6-hitter. In there for strike 1, Kyle McCann, as he digs in from the left side. So Colin Simpson ties this game at 2-2 in the bottom of the 6th as the pitch misses low, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Base path's empty, no outs. The 1-1 delivery swung on and fouled off behind home plate, in the count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Kyle McCann. 1 run scored by Chatham back in the bottom of the 3rd. It was from a walk, a fielder's choice, and then an error at second base by Green. As the 1-2 pitch. Fastball upstairs, check swing. They motion over towards third base, and he goes around. So it's strike 3 on Kyle McCann, and there's 1 away in the bottom of the 6th. Then for the Harwich Mariners responded when they went down 1-0 in the top of the 5th inning. It was the bases loaded and 2 outs, and it was a chopper over towards shortstop that got by the glove of Jones, and coming in to score for the Harwich Mariners had 2 runs come in. It was Jordan Green who came around to score along with Ben Norman. That gave the Mariners a 2-1 lead, but just moments ago in the bottom of the 6th, a solo home run from Simpson ties it at 2-2 as the first pitch to John McMillan is in there for a strike.
Well, it's a nice comeback from Westfall to get up the solo jack to Simpson, and comes right back with a strikeout.
And the 0-1 pitch in there for strike 2 at the letters, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes on Josh McMillan. John McMillan, I beg your pardon.
And after the homer was on a fastball, continues to pound the zone with fastballs.
The 0-2 pitch cut on, and a chopper over towards first base, foul. It looked like it hopped right over the bag in fair territory, but It's called foul over at first base.
Well, it was close. I think it has to bounce again, I believe, once it gets past the bag and in fair territory.
And I think it did. That's why I was a little bit confused, because I thought that ball hopped right on the line.
I think it either just missed it or it might have clipped it. I don't know. I mean, the first base umpire is right in front of it.
The 0-2 pitch, fastball misses upstairs, and the count 1-2. The 1-2 pitch swung on, a high fly ball to deep right center field, back to the track, to the wall. You can say goodbye. Another solo home run. This time it's off the bat of John McMillan. And the Chatham Anglers take the lead in the bottom of the sixth, 3-2.
And that ball was hammered off the bat of John McMillan. And to mention, too, that he's a two-way player as well, so he's doing it not only with the pitching this year, but also with the bat as well. And that one might have gone out towards the road out there. I couldn't quite tell through the fog, but it was high up on that hill.
I was just trying to follow that ball through the fog, and I saw it all the way, and then I realized this thing's going way back. And it was well out of here at Veterans Field, and now at 3-2, Anglers lead. As the first pitch is in there for strike one on Greg Jones, so things have been a little bit tough so far from Jacob Westfall in the bottom of the sixth. 0-1 pitch, cut on miss, and the count 0-2. Oh, 0-2 pitch runs upstairs and inside, and the count 1 and 2 strikes on Greg Jones. 3-2 Anglers lead in the bottom of the sixth inning. They put up 2 runs on 2 hits and 2 home runs as the 1-2 pitch is swung on and a line drive into center field that gets by Nate Eichhoff, now advancing to second, rounding second, now going to third, and Greg Jones will pull on the brakes at third base. I don't know what happened out there in center field to Nate Eichhoff. It got by him, and then he sort of jogged over to the ball. And meanwhile, Greg Jones is in turbo mode there. He's just going and going and going and ends up at third base.
I don't think Eichhoff was jogging out backward towards that ball, but I'm guessing he put the glove down and the ball just hopped right under it. It wasn't his focus about setting the feet maybe than fielding the ball and trying to get the throw in. And Greg Jones just showing off his speed there, able to take 3 bags on that ball. Just a line drive out towards center field, routiner, but gets past the center for the Eichhoff.
And Greg Jones jumped on his horse right away, and he sprinted around second base, was heading to third base. I thought there was a shot at the inside of the park home run there, just due to his speed alone. Well, it was the 3rd hit of the inning, and it's yet another error by the Harwich Mariners fielding. It's a 3-2 Anglers lead, 1 out, bottom of the 6th inning. The infield is in for the Harwich Mariners. And the first pitch is swung on, grounded right back to the mound, deflects off the pitcher Westfall and goes right to Green, who can't field it at second base. And it is the 4th error of the game for the Harwich Mariners.
Yeah, at this point, it's just defense. They're just shooting themselves right in the foot right now. A couple errors this inning, and now it's gone out of their hands. Anglers now stretched to 2 runs, and again we said a big inning by the Anglers, and that's what's happened so far. 3 runs into this inning. They've gone from being down a run to now up 2, and we've seen this before as well. We saw back at Whitehouse Field when they're up by 5-4 in the 13-6 loss that they had, up 5-4 and up scoring 6 runs in that inning for the Anglers. We've seen this multiple times this season against Chatham, where the Mariners just can't quite get everything together in just 1 inning. It just all falls apart, defense, offense.
And yeah, coming into this inning, it was a 2-1 Harwich Mariners lead, but after a couple of solo shots out towards right field, and then it was a single to center field, got by Eichhoff. Advancing all the way to third was Greg Jones. That was error number 3 on the night for the Harwich Mariners. And then with 1 out, and a runner on third, it was a chopper back to the mound. The infield was in. It deflected off the glove of Westfall. And then over towards Greg Jones, I beg your pardon, over at second base was Jordan Green. And he had a tough time coming up with it, tossed over to first, but it was Not in time because he had trouble fielding the ball, and it goes down as an error against Jordan Green.
First baseman, number 21, Blake Sable.
Well, just hope the Mariners can get out of this inning without anything more going on.
And the first pitch is in there for strike one on Ben Ramirez. I beg your pardon, Blake Sable's at the plate. The 0-1 pitch is swung on and fouled off down the first base line. And the count 0-2 on Sable. And Westfall's done a nice job pounding the zone. It hasn't been an issue of control for him tonight. It's simply been these Chatham Anglers bats have been able to hit, and they've been able to hit a lot.
They've been able to put a couple balls in play, and then the defense behind him as well has helped them a little bit.
It was a couple of home runs, a base hit to center field, then a couple of errors to go along with it as the 0-2 pitch misses in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Harwich Mariners rule, Chatham Anglers rule.
The 1-2 pitch is swung on, a line drive into right field for another base hit. Rounding second and heading into third base is Ramirez, and now there are runners on the corners with 1 out. And it is a 4-2 Anglers lead, and they just continue to hit in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Well, that's what happens when you're given 4 or 5 outs in an inning to a team. Those 2 outs that, or at least one of them they could have had would have been 2 outs in this inning. No runner on third base.
A call in time as Coach Steve Englert will trot out to the mound. Let's see if he's going to make a pitching change. George Kirby is warming up in the Harwich Mariners bullpen. It's been a long and a tough inning for Jacob Westfall, in which 3 runs have come around and there are 2 additional runners on first base. They're going to make a call to the bullpen. We'll step aside and sort out the details when we come back. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Welcome back in the bottom of the 6th inning, a 4-2 Anglers lead as there's a new pitcher on the mound for the Harwich Mariners. It's George Kirby out of Elon, who had one of the better years in college baseball this season. As John Rave digs in from the left side. Runners on first and third, one out, as before he throws a single pitch, he'll toss over to first base.
We talk about those big innings for the Anglers. This is looking like one right now. They may get another one or two across. Kirby looking to slam the door.
First pitch to Reeves, swung on a line drive into left field for a base hit. One run's going to come around and score. And there are runners on the corners with one out. Trying to steal on that pitch was Sable. So he advances all the way to third on a single to left field. And now it's Spencer Torkelson, who is ever dangerous, who got the first hit of the night for the Anglers. That was back in the bottom of the 5th inning, just last inning. It was a fly ball to left center field that should have been caught, and it was not caught, and it ended up being a double for Torkelson. They just lost it in the lights out in left center field. 4 runs in already for Chatham. 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch of Torkelson, breaking ball in there for strike 1. Battle of 2 very high-end Division I talents. George Kirby out of Elon on the East Coast, and Spencer Torkelson out of Arizona State on the West Coast. Tossing over to first base and diving back in safely is John Rave.
And of course, Kirby's teammate back at Elon and here too, Kyle Baranovich playing for Team USA as well as Spencer Torkelson.
Baranovich was lights out during his time in Harwich. Kirby only available out of a bullpen role in Harwich because of an innings limit. The 0-1 pitch on the outside corner, the count 0-2, and what a 1-2 punch that is over at Elon. I mean, how can, as a coach, you had to think, how can you convince 2 top-level commits like that to come into your organization?
It's a nice area down there. I've visited Elon, nice little campus.
The 0-2 pitch at Torkelson. This is low on the count 1-2. But then again, I mean, if you're in the Carolinas area, you have teams like NC State. You have big powerhouses like UNC too. I mean, this is an area where you have those top-level teams. And I guess as a smaller school like Elon, you just say, look, you're going to be our 1-2 right off the bat. And they have thrived in those roles. The 1-2 pitch. This is low and outside. Now throw down to first. And it's not in time to get John Rave. Rave took quite a large secondary lead off of first base, and Driscoll took notice of it. He tossed over to first, and by the time the throw got there, Rave had dove back in time.
Yeah, got caught in no man's land between first and second. Nice job by Rave to get back, though. He thought maybe he was going to advance towards second, but the ball was still close enough to Logan Driscoll, and he just threw down towards first base.
The 2-2 pitch. This is low, and the count runs full at 3. And it's going to be a balk against George Kirby. And now there's going to be another run that comes home and scores. And there's a runner on second base, and yet another run comes around and scores for the Chatham Anglers. It is a 6-2 lead.
I wasn't quite sure. I didn't quite catch what he might have done on the mound that would have warranted the balk, and then just another run. And the Anglers are piling on here, make that 4 in this inning. Or it should be 5 in this inning.
It was the home plate umpire, Tyler Bullock, who made the call. I didn't see it, to be quite honest, but it's called against George Kirby. And there's so many intricate rules to the balk as to what qualifies as a balk and what does not. It has complicated things in a big way.
It's like 12 or 13 of them, I think, the ways you can balk.
So a runner on second base, now 1 out. 6-2 Chatham. And Spencer Torkelson stands in the right-handed batter's box. The 3-2 pitch. in there for strike 3. And this time Tyler Bullock rings up Spencer Torkelson for the second out of the inning. So in that specific matchup, George Kirby gets the best of Spencer Torkelson, but still, during the process, it's a balk, and another run comes around to score. It is 6-2 Chatham, and they're threatening for more in the bottom of the 6th. Michael Bush digs in from the left side. First pitch fastball inside for ball 1. Count 1 ball and no strikes. And this game has gone from a 2-1 Mariners lead coming into the bottom of the 6th inning, and all of a sudden it is a 6-2 Anglers lead. Mariners put up 2 runs in the top of the 5th inning. It came around on an error over at short by Jones, as the 1-0 pitch misses low and the count 2 balls and no strikes on Michael Bush. And after all of a sudden 5 runs come in to score. It was a solo home run. A couple of solo home runs this inning, one from Colin Simpson, another from John McMillan. And then it's just been hit after hit after hit. And the Chatham Anglers have officially batted around now. This is the 9th batter to come to the plate for the Anglers. Two-0 pitch is swung on and fouled off. The count 2-1. Runner on second base, 2 outs. The 2-1 pitch swung on and fouled off behind home plate to the screen, and the count 2-2. Bush steps back in from the left side. 2 outs, runner on second base, and it is a 6-2 Anglers lead, and it's been a combination of hits, errors, long balls, and the Anglers have had everything this inning. The 2-2 pitch swung on, a chopper right back to the mound. It's fielded by Kirby. He'll have an underhand flip over to first, and that will do it for the bottom of the 6th inning, but not before the Anglers put a 5 spot on the board and lead this game 6-2. It's a couple home runs and hit after hit after hit. And that was the story of the bottom of the 6th. We'll head to the top of the 7th. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network.
Back inside Veterans Field for the top of the 7th inning.
Well, one thing that has changed now, not only the score, but the fog has all but cleared from Veterans Field.
6-2 Anglers lead over the Harwich Mariners. And it is Casals, Rivera, Green set to do work. They trail by 4 runs, and they have their work cut out for them as the first pitch runs just a bit upstairs as that one goes straight to the backstop. So count as 1 ball and no strikes on leadoff hitter Casals. This evening is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a punch out. Righty-righty matchup. The 1-0 pitch runs just a bit inside for ball 2. 2-0 the count on Casals. Now, Valise is a native of Key West, Florida, plays his college ball at Miami. And Casals is from Miami, but plays his college ball at Maine, so I got that Florida connection as the count runs to 3 balls and no strikes. A 3-0 pitch from Valise on the inside, a corner for a strike 1. Valise finds the zone. Mariners looking to get the leadoff runner on. 3-1 pitch from Valise. Big swing and a miss from Casals. A pitch that was elevated up in the zone. He tried to elevate it himself. He has 2 long balls on the year as the wind continues to blow out towards straightaway center. The payoff pitch. Fastball upstairs, and he goes down swinging as Valise picks up a strikeout to start off the 7th inning.
Well, this game just went from a game the Mariners were in the driver's seat headed into the bottom of the 6th inning. All of a sudden, the Anglers put up a 5 spot, and the Mariners are chasing from behind in a big way.
And now Gabe Rivera faces teammate back at Miami and Greg Valise. Righty-righty matchup. Rivera cut on and missed for strike 1. Rivera so far is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Looks to avoid the hat trick here. 0-1 pitch from Valise. Fastball misses up and inside for ball 1.
Mariners only have 2 hits tonight, and neither of them were all that well hit balls. I mean, it was a weak ground ball over towards shortstop, and Eichhoff ended up beating out the throw, and nice hustle play down the line.
1-1 pitch, fastball upstairs. Check swing by Rivera. He does not go around, says the first base umpire, Bob Gardner.
And then it was a blooper into left field that was a base hit as well.
2-1 pitch. Rivera cut on and missed. Cadman's back up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Rivera will dig back in from the right side. Righty-righty matchup. The 2-2 from Valise. Inside corner, strike 3 call. Rivera goes down looking as he picks up his 3rd strikeout, and Valise picks up his 3rd as well as 2nd in this inning, and he's come out better than ever after the long 6th inning.
Yeah, well, Valise has looked outstanding tonight. He worked a 1-2-3 6th inning and then has back-to-back strikeouts to lead things off in the top of the 7th.
So now is the 9-0 hitter, the second baseman out of Clemson, Jordan Green. First pitch to Green is at the belt for strike 1.
And Green has actually walked tonight, one of a few players who's reached base for the Harwich Mariners.
He also came around to score one of those 2 runs as 0-1 pitch misses down and in for ball 1. And 1 strike to count on the Clemson product.
Well, there is a little bit of rain, just a bit of a drizzle coming down at White House Field, almost like or not at White House Field, at Veterans Field. It's sort of like a mist. It's a little bit more than a mist, but nothing heavy enough to halt play or anything, but there is a little bit of precipitation falling.
As the 1-1 pitch runs well outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. Two balls, 1 strike to count. The pitch from Valise is swung on, lifted up and out of play over the snack shack area behind the Mariners bench on the first base side. The count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Valise looking to strike out the side here. He struck out Rivera and Casals to start things off as Green at a 2-2 count. The pitch. 2-2 fastball runs just a hair outside. Count runs full now. So Cape Cod, you see him almost every type of weather, I guess, possible here. You got some clouds earlier, you got some fog, and then You got some rain coming down now. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch to Green just misses. Doesn't quite catch the inside black, and Green will jog down to first base. He picks up his second walk on the evening. Will reach base for the second time as well. So the Mariners have a man on with 2 outs, as Valise issues his first walk. He's pitched 2 innings so far. So now the top of the order comes back around to Tanner Morris. Green leads off at first. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch to Tanner Morris. Misses above the letters for ball 1. And now his catcher, Cal McCann, will go out to talk to the right-hander out of Miami, Greg Valise.
Well, rain is no longer in the forecast for the 9 p.m. hour or the 10 p.m. hour either, for that matter.
So McCann comes back to behind home plate. So, mentioned before, still got some drizzle coming down, but 1-0 pitch to Morris, just catching the top of that netting just in front of us. Canavan's back up at 1 ball, 1 strike. So Green off of first, 6-2. Anglers lead over the Harwich Mariners here in the top of the 7th inning, 2 outs. As Lees will throw over and diving back in safely head first at first is Jordan Green. Mariners need to get some runs quickly here, trailing 4. Do have another 2 innings to do it, but not a lot of time as 1 pitch misses the outer half of the plate. Morris almost comes across the plate there.
And if they can get a couple of base runners on, they could still produce something in this inning. It's the top of the order coming up, and it's the very dangerous top of the order for the Harwich Mariners with Morris, Shunk, and Lipsius.
2-1 fastball. Just doesn't quite catch the zone again. Count runs to 3 balls and 1 strike. And Morris, who's 1 for 3 in this evening's ball game, single in his last at bat back in the 5th inning. There's a big hole on the right side. 3-1 pitch, big swing and a miss from Tanner Morris. Trying to make contact as that was actually foul tipped into the mitt of McCann. So count as 3 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs. So Green will be running on the pitch. Valise comes set from the belt. He'll check on Green once more, and he just skips back over to first base, standing up. The payoff pitch. Misses the lower part of the zone, and that's ball 4 as Tanner Morris works another 2-out walk, and back-to-back walks issued by Valise after he struck out the first 2 batters in this inning. Now, I believe it's Dennis Cook running out towards the pitcher's mound to talk to Valise, and the catcher McCann will join him as well.
Rain's starting to come down a little bit more, pressure.
So now they'll come back towards after the meeting is adjourned. 2 runners on with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. 6-2 Anglers lead over the Harwich Mariners. It is now the ever-dangerous, the third baseman, Aaron Shunk out of Georgia, facing the right-hander, Greg Valise out of Miami. First pitch skips into the dirt, the mitt of the catcher, McCann, for ball 1. So Valise has just lost it a bit here after walking back-to-back hitters. Now he faces the 2-hitter, Aaron Shunk. 1-0 pitch is popped up high in the air behind home plate, just behind us. As it gets out of play, count is now 1 ball and 1 strike on Shunk.
I think it's critical right now for these Harwich Mariners bats to be patient at the plate and make Valise throw you a strike, because he struggled to do so over the last couple of batters.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count of Valise. He kicks and fires. 1-1 pitch is at the knees for a strike. A late call from the home plate umpire, Tyler Bullock, there. And I thought that might have been just a little bit lower. I don't think that was a strike, but
it looked low to me as well. Looked below the knees.
1-2 pitch to Shunk is popped up. Over at the home plate area, the catcher, McCann, barely has to move from his crouch and will make the catch. So the Mariners do get 2 base runners on after back-to-back walks with 2 outs, but Louise is able to work out of that jab there, and heading to the 7th inning stretch, a 6-2 Anglers lead this New Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. And back inside a rainy Veterans Field. The rain began to fall. The fog has dissipated from the sky after hearing a Chattanooga rendition of the Take Me Out to the Ball Game after the 7th inning stretch. Right now in the bottom half of the 7th inning. It is Colin Simpson, the left fielder, to start things off. He takes a first pitch fastball up in the zone for ball 1. George Kirby back on the hill after he came into the 6th inning to take over for Jacob Westfall. 1-0 pitch to Simpson. Pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. Count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. Simpson, who started off the 5-run 6th with a solo home run to right field, he is 1 for 2 with a walk as he takes a healthy cut at that one for strike 2 as it tips into the mid of the catcher Logan Driscoll. Count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Garvey threw him the off-speed pitch there, and he has some life to that fastball, looking quite full-some hitters as Kirby, the 1-2 curveball, cut on and missed. And down swinging goes Colin Simpson. Back-to-back curveballs gets him. And Kirby picks up his 2nd punch-out in this ball game. He struck out Torkelson, and now has struck out Colin Simpson. And now with 1 out here in the the bottom of the 7th inning, 6-2 Anglers lead over the Harwich Mariners. It is now the catcher, Kyle McCann, who is still searching for his first base hit this evening. There have only been 6 hits on 6 runs for the Anglers so far. First pitch to McCann is swung on a high fly ball out towards left field. Will be ball foul towards that parking lot down there.
And that always gives me a scare because I'm over in that parking lot over in left center field. My car has survived so far this season and survived, well, it had a different car last season, but that car survived last season too.
0-1 pitch, curveball, backdoor curveball on the outside half of the plate for strike 2. As Kirby has been proven he can throw that curveball for a strike. And as the count is now no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 offering. Pitch runs upstairs for ball 1. So I mentioned before, McCann's still searching for his first base hit. He's popped out, he's lined out, and he's struck out. He's done a little bit of everything so far this evening's ball game. The 1-2 pitch from Kirby. Check swing inside corner, strike 3 anyway. As Kirby starts the 7th inning, just how his opposition and Greg Valise did with back-to-back strikeouts. As that is now 3 in an inning, a third of work, so 5. The batters he has faced, 3 of them have been struck out. As there are quickly 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th, nobody on. 6-2, Anglers lead over the Mariners.
And Kirby has continuously looked good with his stuff. He's had a solid fastball. He's worked in the breaking ball very effectively.
First pitch to John McMillan is at the knees for strike one. McMillan, who also homered back in the sixth inning. I think that's the difference as well, because Kirby has some life to that fastball, but his location is definitely key. 0-1 pitch cut on and missed. As McMillan's in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes, because you can throw very hard, but if someone's able to put the bear on the ball, that ball is just going to take off, so that's why location is very key. And Kirby is basically giving a textbook lesson this evening. As the 0-2 curveball from Kirby cut on and missed, and that was just a lackadaisical swing. Just couldn't make contact was McMillan as Kirby strikes out the side here in the 7th. After 7 innings, 6-2, Angles lead over the Harwich Mariners. Listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Back inside Veterans Field for the away half of the 8th inning. 6-2 Anglers lead over the Harwich Mariners. Mariners looking to do some damage. Well, to get some runs sooner rather than later. They're only down the last 6 outs, but they do have the Harley order coming up. Lipsius, Eichhoff, Driscoll here to set to do work in the 8th inning. Righty-righty matchup. First pitch from Valise. Pitch runs up in the zone for ball 1 on Lipsius. Lipsius this evening, who has not reached base at all, is 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts in the ground down. Looks to change his fortunes here. 1-0 pitch to Lipsius, and that's just, he swung through that one. That was a check swing, but it just swung through. As the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. Valise from the windup. 1-1 pitch just misses a little bit too inside for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike the count on Andre Lipsius. He's working quickly. 2-1 pitches, swung on and missed. Fastball is foul tipped into the mid of Kyle McCann. Count is now 2-2. So nobody on, nobody out here in the top of the 8th. 6-2. Anglers lead over the Harwich Mariners. 2-2 pitch to Lipsius. Is swung on a line drive in the hole between first and second base. The second baseman Bush, when stumbling to try to reach the ball and just couldn't quite get in front of it as he tried to make a diving play, but to find the right fielder Torkelson as Lipsius reaches base for the first time in this ball game.
Yeah, it's just a ground ball through the right side, and you mentioned it was a close play over at second base with a dive from Michael Bush, but ends up getting just under his arm, and it's a base hit for Andre Lipsius.
So Lipsius, the leadoff man, is on with a single. It is now Nate Eichhoff. First pitch is foul tipped in the middle of McCann for strike 1. Eichhoff, who got the first hit for the Mariners in this ball game after an infield single in the 4th. Not a lot of hits for either side. 2 for the Mariners, and now in 6 for Chatham, as that one is grounded hard as a knocked down by the first baseman. Sable, he flips it on to first, and the pitcher isn't there. Valise, he dives to the ground over towards the coach's box, and the catcher, McCann, and no one was covering home plate, and then until Ramirez, the third baseman, came charging home, and
well, just a very ill-advised play over at first base when the first baseman ended up tossing that ball over towards the pitcher who was not there, and it was just a really bizarre play over there at first base. I think it first kicked off the bag, isn't that right, before Eichhoff was able to get in there safely at first base, and then there was the unnecessary throw over towards the pitcher, and the pitcher wasn't there, and the ball got by him. That allowed Lipsius to advance to third. So now runners on first and third, no outs. The Harwich Mariners have an opportunity to get back in this game.
there's now the catcher, Logan Driscoll. First pitch he sees, he pops one up above the third base area to play for strike one, and there are some changes as Blake Sybil is in left field. Now Michael Bush over at first, so that was him who dove over at first. That one actually hit off the base and then kicked, and they try to flip it on to Valise, the pitcher. Hoy Arenas is at second base now. He subs for Colin Simpson. 1 pitches on the inside corner, but it just misses for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count on Logan Driscoll.
So it's the second hit of the night for Nate Eichhoff.
As that's a hard chopper over towards first, stepping on the bag over at first is Bush. He trying to look towards second to maybe get to get an out over there.
An ill-advised play by Bush over at first base. He steps on first base first, and that makes it so the force out at second base doesn't work. So he goes for the easy out, but I think that he would have had a play over at second base if he could have tried to go get Nate Eichhoff, and there could have been a play back at the plate as well, but he stepped on first base. The force out's no longer there at second. He realized, well, I can't throw to second now to get Eichhoff because the throw won't be in time. He doesn't want to risk throwing it into the outfield, and then he would not have had a play at the plate either. So he ended up having to just eat the ball after he touched first base, but 1 run does come in for the Harwich Mariners.
And his lead is now cut down to 3, 6-3. Angers lead for the Harwich Mariners, and they have another runner in scoring position now as well with Eichhoff over at second base. So they'll mark his down as a single, as you said before. Make that 4 hits in this ball game for the Mariners. They have 3 runs.
I think the best play from Bush there could have been if whether or not he decides to tap on first base. I think he possibly could have tapped on first base really quickly and then thrown home and possibly still had a play at the plate to try to get Lipsius. But instead, he steps on first base, didn't have enough time to throw home, and then decided not to throw to second base either. And so he gets just the 1 out.
So the 0-1 pitch is on the inside corner, Norman, and now the 0-2 misses outside. Count as 1 ball and 2 strikes. And it could be different as well. Bush was playing second earlier. Does not quite have his thinking cap on down there over at first as the 1-2 pitch skips into the mitt of the catcher, McCann. And it is tough to make a decision a split second. You only have a quick second to make a decision.
And the other question becomes who's going to go and cover first base. Sometimes the first baseman gets back in time. Other times it's the pitcher who ends up covering first. I think that Bush was close enough to the bag there that he would have just gone back and covered first base again.
2-2 pitches fouled back into the backstop. So 1 out here over at second base is Eichhoff. 6-3. Anglers lead over the Mariners. The 2-2 pitch is swung on a miss, gets away as heading towards first is Norman. But making the throw behind the plate is McCann to retire Norman for out number 2, but advancing towards third as well is Eichhoff. So Eichhoff is now just 90 feet away from scoring the 4th run for the Mariners in this evening ball game. It's going to have to come by a single or just any type of base hit from Danny Casals, who so far is 0 for 3 with 2 punch-outs.
Well, I think it's important to get this second run in the top of the 8th inning because at that point, you're going to at least have a shot when the top of the 9th rolls around. If you're down by just 2 runs, if you're down by 3, it's that much more difficult to try to come back in the top of the 9th. But if you can score a run while you can, you already have a runner on third base, it would go a long ways for the Harwich Mariners in terms of helping them get a bit of a leg up when it comes time for the top of the 9th.
You could put some pressure on the closer as well between a 2 and a 3-run lead. So Danny Casals will do his work from the right side, facing the right-handed pitcher Feliz. First pitch fastball inside corner at the knees for strike one.
We've seen Danny Casals' power come through at times this year, not the same way it did at Maine. He had outstanding power this past season at Maine, hit over 300, also added 14 home runs. This season so far in Harwich, it's been a little bit up and down.
0-1 pitches, swung on and missed. A pitch that was foul tipped into the mitt of McCann. A pitch that might have been just a bit out of the zone. 0-2 pitch from Feliz. This one hops in. Casals lays off. Count as 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And Casals is one of the league leaders in doubles. But just the 2 home runs so far. He has a lot of extra base hits.
Coming set is Feliz from the belt. The 1-2 pitch to Casals, and that's lofted out just above the shortstop. Jones ranging out to center field, and he dives to make the catch as he takes away a base hit from Danny Casals. And Greg Jones' speed not only matters on the base pass, but also in the field as well, as that saves a run. And after 7.5, the Mariners do get one back on the ground out from Logan Driscoll, but they trailed 6-3. Listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. And back inside Veterans Field for the bottom half of the 8th inning. Kirby's work is done. He goes 1 2/3. Only 1 hit allowed, no runs, no earned, no walks, and 4 punch-outs. So for the 6 hitters he faced, he struck him out. As now Cal Kruger out of Indiana looks to keep this Angers lead only at 3. First pitch is a high chopper out towards Morris. At short, he comes on charging and strong throw to first base is in time to get the speedy Greg Jones. And Jones, after he made a nice play, is thrown out on a ball that was a high chopper to Morris at short, and he thought he beat it out. The crowd here thought he beat it out, and it was awfully close.
I have to say, I think that he was safe over there at first base. From my view over here, we're behind home plate, up elevated a little bit, and from my view, I thought that the throw was not in time to get the very speedy Greg Jones, but he's called out at first base nonetheless.
First pitch now to the third baseman, Ben Ramirez. Misses for ball 1. Ramirez 9-0 hitter in this lineup. He has reached base once on an error at second base. As 1-0 pitch again misses down below the knees for ball 2. 2-0 the count on Ramirez. So Cal Kruger has pitched in 5 innings so far, 4 strikeouts. 2-0 pitch Ramirez misses low and outside, ball 3. So 1 out here, nobody on. Bottom of the 8th inning, 6-3 Angers lead over the Harwich Mariners.
And it's crucial for Cal Kruger to at least keep it at 3. And 3 is going to be a tough task for the Harwich Mariners.
As earning a walk there was Ben Ramirez.
In the 9th inning for the Harwich Mariners will be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters. Rivera, Green, and Morris due up.
So now with one out, over at first is Ben Ramirez. Top of the order comes back around and Blake Sable. Sable looks to try to maybe add another insurance run for the Anglers. First pitch is at the belt level for strike one. And Sable, a guy who is very dangerous at the plate, coming in with a .338 average, fourth in the league. He is 1 for 4, has reached base twice, reached on an error as well, as that one is sliced out towards shortstop. Morris back on to Casals. Casals comes back over the bat to get Sable over at first in time. 6-4-3 double play to end the inning, and Cal Kruger able to pitch a scoreless 8th inning, and after 8, 6:30, Anglers lead over the Harwich Mariners. Listen to Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners Radio Network. Here inside Veterans Field for the top half of the 9th inning. Mariners need 3 runs as they trail 6-3 to the Chatham Anglers. Need 3 runs to extend this game to the bottom of the 9th, where the Anglers can have a chance to win it. We can try to take the lead here, and they need to score 3 or more. So as the 8-9-1 hitters due up for the Harwich Mariners, Gabe Rivera will start things off on the right side facing Valise, who's back on for another inning of work. First pitch skips into the middle of the catcher McCann for ball 1. Valise so far 3 1/3 innings pitch of relief, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 2 walks, and 4 punch-outs. 1-0 pitch to Rivera. Pitch just misses. The letters level. Count as 2 balls and no strikes. Rivera 0 for 3 with 3 punch-outs. 2-0 pitch to Rivera at the knees for strike 1. So Rivera has struggled as of late, dating back to last game. 1 0 for 4 is now 0 for 3 in this game. 0 for 7 his last 2 games. 2-1 pitch Rivera runs off the plate, and this is very important here. 3 balls, 1 strike to count. Very important for Rivera to try to get on base. He's ahead in the count. He's done so good so far, as the 3-1 pitch from Valise is a big swing and a miss for strike 2. As I mentioned in Rivera's last at bat, he's facing his teammate back at Miami, Greg Valise. So 2 Hurricanes fighting each other. From the windup, the 3-2 pitch. This one's lined up hard, goes to the shortstop. Eric Jones fields it, sets his feet, takes 2 steps, throw on a first, and Rivera is retired for the first out here in the 9th.
Yeah, it is a hard hit ground ball over towards shortstop. A nice play by Jones to throw across the diamond. Now 1 away, as it's like there's going to be a meeting at the mound with manager Tom Holliday. Not sure if they're going to go to the bullpen. I mean, Valise has done a great job tonight.
Yeah, I don't know what they might have been talking about over there. We saw the pitching coach run out last inning. And it'll be also strange, too.
I think he was maybe, he didn't go talk to the umpire, but he seemed like he didn't even really meet with Valise at all. He just sort of trotted out there, said less than a sentence probably, and went back.
Showing bunt is Jordan Green. First pitch is on the outside corner for strike 1. So 1 out here in the top of the 9th, 6-3. Anglers lead over the Harwich Mariners. Belize from the windup. 1-0-1 pitch is cut on and missed. As Green's in the hole now, no balls and 2 strikes. Green so far is a pair of walks. He's 0 for 1. Also scored a run as he's one of the 3 runners to score this evening. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Valise from the windup. 0-2 pitch, check swing. And he goes down swinging. So that's another strikeout for Greg Valise.
Number 10, Tanner Morris.
So it's now Tanner Morris with 2 outs, who is the last hope for the Harwich Mariners. First pitch to Tanner Morris is at the bottom part of the zone for strike 1. Valise from the windup. The 0-1. He kicks and deals. Runs just a bit inside as Morris is brushed off the plate. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike. As a ball got away from the bullpen area on the Mariners' right field line. That's why time was called as the 1-1 pitch to Morris runs low and inside for ball 2. Morris so far 1 for 3 with a single. He walked back in the 7th. 2-1 pitch on the inside corner for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. And the Mariners are down to their last strike here in the top of the 9th inning. So Angler's looking to go 4-0 against, or 5-0 against the Mariners this year as a 2-2 pitch is slapped foul down the third base side. And it's just a couple teams that the Mariners just have not shown a good record against, and so far 0-4, maybe got to go to 0-5 against the Anglers. 0-4 against Hyannis. 0-4 against YD. 2-2 pitch to Morris. Check swing. Did he go around? He does not, says the third base umpire, Pat Burns. And that was awfully close, and Morris able to stick around for just a little bit longer. Chatham fans here are very eager. They thought he might have gone around. We'll get the clapping going again. The payoff pitch to Morris is swung on a high fly ball out to left field. Left fielder Sable comes on and secures it for the 3rd out of the inning. And that'll do it for us at Veterans Field as the Harwich Mariners fall to the Chatham Anglers by a final score of 6-3. Only able to muss out 4 hits, and the big number on the scoreboard out there, 4 errors. And that was basically the game right there, as just a couple unearned runs made the difference. As you look back at the box score, 2 runs were unearned in that 5-run 6th inning, and that would have brought it down from a 6-3 win to a 4-3 win, a lot closer, maybe a little more interesting. But again, the big inning for the Anglers, they scored 5 of their 6 runs in the 6th inning. It makes a difference. Again, we said it's the same story the whole season when they play the Chatham Anglers, and that's just prevent the big inning. And tonight, Chatham has that big inning, and that's why they defeat the Harwich Mariners by a final score of 6-3. It's unfortunate for the Harwich Mariners, as it was a pitcher's duel to start things off between Jeff Belge and Austin Wood.
Yeah, there were no hits actually through the first 3.5 innings of work until the Mariners put up a couple of runs in the top of the 5th. And the Harwich Mariners, they looked like they were doing quite well at a point in this game. Going into the bottom of the 6th inning, they were up 2-1, and then all of a sudden, Chatham puts up a 5 spot in the bottom of the 6th inning. And you mentioned it, it's the same story time and time again for the Chatham Anglers when they've been able to put up one big inning, and one big inning has been the difference in tonight's game.
That was the big inning did it in for the Mariners today, and unfortunate for them as now they dropped to 6 points back to behind. Again, they're coming in. Chatham's 4 points ahead. And now they defeat the Mariners. They're up 6 points now on the Harwich Mariners in that 2nd and 3rd playoff spot. Harwich currently in 3rd place, which isn't a bad spot to be. But, you kind of want home field advantage sometimes unless the Mariners are able to sweep the Anglers in the first 2 games. But, again, just another loss to the Chatham Anglers, and it's unfortunate as Mariners have an off day tomorrow. And then they'll have Ricky DeVito going on Friday in Bourne. That is their last Western Conference opponent that they'll play this year. And there's a lot of Western opponents in the June area, and now they will head out to Bourne on Friday.
And that's a big game because Ricky DeVito is someone who's been one of the Mariners' more consistent guys, especially recently. He throws a really hard fastball. He's got the good breaking stuff. He's someone that the opposing team always fears because he's that good on the mound. He has such great command of his pitches. There is some good news for the Harwich Mariners today. That's that they moved their magic number down to 2 as the Brewster Whitecaps lose tonight by a score of 8-6. And the Orleans Firebirds also fall tonight. That was by a score of 8-4 to the YD Red Sox. At this point in the season, the Harwich Mariners are very likely going to be in that 3 spot unless something unprecedented happens in terms of the final, 6 games of the season in which they're able to sort of win out. And maybe they somehow get to pass Chatham. But they have a healthy lead over the 4th spot with Orleans, as Orleans loses again tonight.
Orleans has lost 5 of their last 6, and you talk about Brewster in the 5 spot, and in case, Brewster they've been making a nice little run over the last 2 weeks to try to get back into contention. As they're only 2 points behind Orleans, but they lost those stage 2 points behind Orleans, and Orleans not winning today also doesn't help Orleans' case. And you look at the schedule remaining for the Mariners: 2 games against Brewster, 2 against YD, and 1 against Chatham. And of course, they're playing Bourne as well.
Yeah, and tonight actually was the difference for Chatham. They officially clinched a playoff spot with 40 points, as the difference is too large for Brewster to make up tonight. And the Harwich Mariners, with 34 points, are 9 points ahead of the Brewster Whitecaps. So, if the Mariners are able to get a win, that would be would put them 11, or that would keep them at 9 points ahead. Both Brewster wins and Harwich win on Friday. That would put the Mariners still 9 points ahead with 5 games to go. If the Mariners win and Brewster loses, the Mariners would then be up by 11 points, and that would be the difference. That would be enough for them to make the playoffs officially, because there are only 5 games remaining, which would be a maximum of 10-point differential. So the Mariners, again, magic number is 2. A Mariners win and a Brewster loss on Friday would be enough for the Mariners to officially clinch a playoff spot. And it looks very, very close to coming to fruition.
So that would do for us from Veterans Field as the Harwich Mariners fall to the Chatham Anglers for the 5th time this season. They're now 0-5, still 1 matchup left back in White House Field. We're done here from Veterans Field this year. Mariners again fall to the Chatham Anglers by a final score of 6-3. So that will do it from us from Veterans Field. I'm Simon Cinderella, alongside my broadcasting partner, Austin Rooney. We have an off day tomorrow, don't forget, and then we're back in Bourne on Friday. So we'll see you then as Ricky DeVito will take the hill and try to get the Mariners back on track.